20 minutes past 6, Nathaniel Bassey. From the rising of the sun to the setting of the same, your name is to be hallowed. His name is Adonai. Adonai means Lord, owner, master. It's one thing to say you know the Lord. It's another thing to call him Adonai. Adonai means he has total and complete ownership. It means your obedience is non-negotiable. It means nothing you have is yours. You are just a steward of the breath you have, of your time, of your energy, your resources, and your talents. It's a fantastic way to live because whilst it's in total submission, it also releases great power. His name is Adonai. He says, why do you call me Lord, Lord, and yet do not what I say? So he's not interested in flattering words. It's your actions that reveal who's really your Lord. And we can tell who's your Lord by how you allocate your time, your energy, and your resources. When it really matters most, what would you rather do? Where do you invest your time? It's important to know that you must seek first his kingdom and its righteousness, and all the things we follow shall be added. So when Nathaniel Bassey calls him Adonai, it's a surrender to the Lordship of the Christ. 97.3 Citi FM, welcoming you to another opportunity. It's a blank sheet. You can make a whole lot better. Starting off with listening to the right show that sets the tone for the day, rallying the citizens as part of a development effort. The Citi Breakfast Show is airborne. My name is Bernard Kokuavle. Thank you for joining us. 6:31 Business Sense brought to you by Stanbic Corporate and Investment Banking. We partner with the businesses driving Ghana and Africa's growth. From energy to mining, infrastructure to trade, we finance the ideas and enterprises that empower economies. Call 0302-815-789. Let's talk about how Stanbic Corporate and Investment Banking can drive growth and create sustainable impact. Getting into a newspaper review shortly. Headlines from all over the world. Business news at 7. Sport at a quarter past the hour. Effective Living Series Day 4 of Week 2. We're still talking, planning, generating business ideas, following through to make a difference with your enterprise. With Andrews Ayuku. All of that and more on the Citi Breakfast Show today, the 15th of January. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise. This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Ending unplanned.
Natasha Bedingfield with 634. It's an interactive show. We'd like to hear from you. These days, you guys set the tone for what we discuss, whether it's a land issue or it's a water supply challenge or a traffic concern or a human interest story or something that's happening in a school. We're so grateful that you take the time and the effort to reach out to the Citi Breakfast Show. What's the number? 053-998-6996. In the past, it was 054, but now we've made it 053. So make sure you save it on your phone and call it Citi FM WhatsApp number. Very happy to hear from you this morning. My name is Bernard Kokoabli. I'm here with Caleb Kuda and Richard Delasky as we look forward to a fantastic show. 6:35. Let's make it fun. Let's make it interactive. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. Good morning.
Sorry, your mic was off. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Bernard.
How are you today?
We are fine, thank you, sir.
And you?
Yes, that's what I say.
Yeah.
You have to get up and say, you are welcome, teacher.
Oh, my Lord.
But if I get some cockroach about this morning, it will be very nice.
I love a view.
Porridge.
Yeah, go long
rocks.
yes.
With some tea leaf inside.
Go to, let me have a go long here if you already think I cook there.
I think it's a posh area.
Oh,
They
no, cockroach.
don't understand cooking. Even the Hausa cocoa doesn't.
Oh, Charlie, don't have the verb, you know. You have to have some cake.
Yeah, man.
But I don't get that thing.
Aula.
No, so wait.
Let's get it the Ghanaian time.
The Ghanaian Times says trotro drivers exploit passengers.
Oh.
Make tot trips to make more money. And this is outraging all of us. Also on the front page this morning, avail yourself for scrutiny. Government to Ken Oforiatta and Angela List not arrested, granted bail. The CID talking and some other stories making the headlines in the
Daily Guy, CJ received petitions against Special Prosecutor EC boss. US blocks visas for Ghana and 74 other countries. There are other stories here as well.
Let me take you now to the Enquirer. The National Enquirer says Gezim Bank at 10 drives export growth and industrial transformation. Comes with a photograph of the CEO, Sylvester Adinam Mensah. Also, the front page this morning, Veep backs youth ministry amid funding gaps. And some other stories, including one that says premix fuel price drops by 16%
Nice.
in January 2026.
Daily Post this morning, Japan applauds Ghana's reforms and improving investment climate as Trade Minister Elizabeth Ofosojare meets Japan's State Minister for Foreign Affairs and Prison Service to produce sanitary parts, uniforms and furniture for schools. There are other stories here as well.
The Daily Democrat again goes with the story about Gezim Bank. Also on the front page this morning, Vice President of Pariado push youth agenda. Nungwastu warns over illegal Maijon sales, and the story about price of premix fuel also making the front page. Comes with a photograph of the CEO of the NPA, Mr. Tabaklo.
The Inside, Cuba salutes President Mahama over bold stand on Venezuela, and then of course moved to U.S. military takeover of Greenland would be end of NATO, says European Commissioner. Veep seeks corporate backing in government sanitary part drive.
And let me take you finally to the New Republic. It says GADEC seals $60 million deal to mine bauxite in key forest region. Critics warn of debt and environmental risk. Also on the front page, DVLA boss fights back. A scandal over contract inherited from the MPP explodes. Another story talks about mad rush for non-interest banking license.
Right.
And unions move to stop ECG Netco privatization.
The overseer is the final one from me. Lean government under Mahama saves Ghana millions. Kwachi Ofosu is speaking here. And then, of course, U.S. will not block extradition of Oforiatta, Sedina Tamaklo. This is Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa speaking. And the petition against OSP EC leadership forwarded to CJ. This is the government communications minister speaking. Minister for Government Communications.
CityNewsroom.com. Victor Smith is photographed in his kente as Ghana's ambassador to the US. It says B1 and B2 visas not affected by US immigration visa pause. Also, Ghana is Africa's trade gateway. Ofosue Jari courts Japanese investors. In other stories, current geopolitical dynamics could trigger World War III. Festus Abuaji saying this. And also U.S. foreign policy under Trump driven by national interest, not alliances. Let's get other stories. NLC summons Judicial Service Finance Ministry over JUSAC strike. And GPRTU say they will deploy a task force to curb the exploitation of passengers by drivers. I think that story is the lead story for the morning. If you go to channel1news.com, Mahama must lead Africa's resistance to geopolitical manipulation. This is Entry Danso on Channel 1 News. Also, vehicles overcharging passengers are not our members. This is GPRTU speaking. Meanwhile, tricycle riders appeal for reduction in licensing fee. If you go to myjournline.com, US visa pause does not affect short-term travel for Ghanaians. Ambassador Victor Smith. Kwachu also hails one Citi fuel levy role in addressing energy sector indebtedness. Meanwhile, Nagrat says NACA knew of problem before public outcry. We warned them, they said. And of course, NACA DG apologizes as withdrawn manual sparks national outrage. Those are some of the headlines from our local website. The BBC is still talking about Iran. It says rift at top of Taliban. BBC reveals clash of wills behind internet shutdown. Meanwhile, Trump says Iran has no plan to execute protesters. Those are some of the stories making the rounds globally. Let's come to this very troubling story around vehicles, drivers exploiting passengers.
Exactly. Okay, so I take you to the Ghanaian Times, page 12, which is the center spread. You have the story there by Stephanie Binkran, and she writes that unorthodox loading practices by some commercial drivers are imposing additional financial burden on commuters, with many passengers compelled to pay double the approved transport fares during peak hours, even when traveling to the same destination. Now, the situation affects commuters traveling to and from various parts of the national capital, Accra, where some drivers have resorted to short distances to make more money. Now, for example, from Ashaiman to Accra or Circle, drivers now break the journey into segments. So they load from Ashaiman to Lashibi and charge 5.50 Ghana cedis. Then from Lashibi to Nungwa for 3.50 Ghana cedis. Then from Nungwa to Teshi for 4 Ghana cedis, before finally loading to Circle and charging 10 Ghana cedis. By the time a passenger reaches Circle, the total fare paid far exceeds the approved amount for a direct journey. Now, this practice forces passengers to make multiple stops and board different vehicles before reaching their final destinations, increasing both cost and travel time. Now, several commuters who spoke to the Ghanaian Times in Accra said some commercial drivers had taken advantage of the poorly regulated public transport system to exploit already hard-pressed passengers on a daily basis. Now, there's a quote here. Clefa Kufu reports that commuters on the Ashaiman Accra Circle stretch continue to suffer under this ungodly arrangement.
Meanwhile, GPRTU is saying that they will deploy a task force to deal with this menace. They're also saying that the people doing this are not their members. So speaking to Channel 1 News, the GPRTU has announced plans to deploy a task force on the streets to monitor and sanction drivers engaged in unlawful practices and complaints of vehicle shortages. Of course, this move comes after the minister in charge of government communication, Felix Kwachiofosu, condemned deliberate attempts by some operators to create artificial scarcity of vehicles to overcharge passengers. Speaking to Channel 1's newsroom on Wednesday, January 14, Deputy Industrial and Public Relations Officer of GPRTU, Samolama, stressed that the union does not condone fare violations and will take action against such members. He also said that he also tried to distance himself and the association or the union from those practices, and he basically said union members would never encourage their people to do this type of thing. We don't really know who's doing this. Let me come to you, Caleb.
Bernard, farmers in Oti region struggle as dried cassava chips pile up, buyers scarce. So thousands of cassava farmers in Oti region are facing crisis as their processed cassava chips have piled up with no buyers, causing significant financial losses. The chips processed with peels intact are now deemed unsuitable for cassava flour production, exacerbating exacerbating the issue. A visit by the GNA to some communities cited some sacks of cassava chips lined up under mango trees and heaped by roadsides, gathering dust, highlighting the plight of farmers. Now, Madame Comfort Babijoma is a farmer at Jato Chayo, a farming community in the Krachi and Chumuro district, and she revealed that a bag of cassava chips was now selling for less than 100 Ghana cedis, a stark contrast to the 350, 450 Ghana cedis a year ago.
Okay, so let me take you to the back page of the Ghanaian Times, because there's some good news there. Prison service to produce furniture, uniforms for schools. Yeah. And the story is by Raymond Apia Ponsa, and it says the Ministry of Interior and the Ministry of Education have signed 3 memoranda of understanding mandating the Ghana Prison Service to locally produce school furniture, uniforms, and sanitary parts for basic and secondary schools across the country. Now, under the agreements, inmates of the Ghana Prison Service will be trained in vocational skills such as carpentry, tailoring, and machine operation to support the production of the items. Now, speaking at the signing ceremony in Accra yesterday, the Minister for the Interior, Mr. Muntaka Mohamed Mubarak, said the MOUs reflected a deliberate policy decision to integrate education delivery, local manufacturing, value for money procurement, and inmate rehabilitation into a single national intervention.
So the U.S.
Okay, before that though, I also want to draw your attention to another back page story which says ICU Ghana kicks against proposed sale of Valco. Now that story says the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union Ghana has opposed the proposed diversification of government's interest in the Volta Aluminium Company Limited, stressing that it is a strategic national asset that must be protected. Now, the General Secretary of ICU Ghana, Mr. Morgan Ayawine, in a press statement issued and copied to the Ghanaian Times yesterday, said despite the challenges it faced, the solution to addressing those challenges did not lie in its sale. Now, there's some other newspaper this morning talking about the sale of government interest in our parastatal. So if you go to the New Republic, for instance, they say unions move to stop ECG Netco privatization. And you find a story on page 3 of the newspaper. Philip Antor writes that the 2 largest labor unions in Ghana's power sector are making a simple data-driven argument to halt a planned privatization. The state-owned electricity company is already fixing itself. Citing internal financial data, the Trades Union Congress, which is the TUC, and the Public Utility Workers Union, which is PUL, revealed that a 6-month worker-driven recovery program at the Electricity Company of Ghana clearly doubled its monthly revenue from about 900 million Ghana cedis to roughly 1.7 billion Ghana cedis between July and December of 2020.
Let's deal with this U.S. visa matter.
Exactly. U.S. block visas for Ghana and 74 other countries. Story on page 6 of Daily Guide. The United States has announced a suspension of immigration visas, visa processing for citizens of Ghana and 74 other countries, marking the latest move by President Donald Trump's administration to tighten controls on foreign entry into the country. The decision announced yesterday will take effect from January 21, 2026 and will remain in force indefinitely pending a comprehensive review of America's screening and vetting procedures. Now, a spokesperson for U.S. State Department confirmed the development, saying the State Department is pausing immigration processing for 75 countries.
Meanwhile, Ghana's ambassador to the U.S., Emmanuel Victor Smith, has clarified that the U.S. decision to halt this immigrant visa processing does not affect non-immigrant visas for Ghanaians. The clarification is expected to allay concerns among Ghanaians planning short-term travel to the United States for businesses or tourism. These are what is called B1, B2 visas, so they remain unaffected by the temporary suspension. According to the State Department, the pause takes effect January 21, as we read, and remain in place indefinitely. Now, there's another issue relating to the U.S. They have restored the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act. So they've extended it for 3 years. And according to the Ghana Exim Bank, this is key to Africa's agro-processing and manufacturing push. So, you know, a couple of days ago, we complained about AGOA being allowed to sort of die. So the Ghana Exim Bank has welcomed the 3-year extension of the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, describing it as a strategic boost for Africa's trade and industrialization efforts. The extension, overwhelmingly approved by the U.S. House of Reps and awaiting Senate endorsement, restores duty-free access to the U.S. market for eligible Ghanaian products. It is expected to strengthen export-oriented manufacturing particularly in the garment and apparel subsector, while supporting job creation, industrial capacity utilization, and foreign exchange inflows. I need to say, though, that while this is great, on the program we did a couple of days ago, David Ofosu-Dotty and co are saying we should also take a closer look at the Chinese market. Because as I speak to you, China announced a record $1 trillion trade surplus despite Trump tariffs. So clearly China's market is also opening up. Of course, their trade surplus means that they sell more than they buy. But China announced record export numbers for 2025, a year when President Trump's tariffs and trade policies caused turmoil in the global economy. Now, China on Wednesday reported the world's largest ever trade surplus. The value of goods and services sold abroad compared to what they imported was $1.19 trillion. It's the first time China's full-year trade surplus has exceeded $1 trillion, surpassing 2024's record of $993 billion. China's monthly export surplus passed $100 billion 7 times last year, a sign that Trump's tariff campaign has barely affected its overall trade with the rest of the world. Trade with the US did weaken, but this was offset by a rise in Chinese exports, especially to Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America. So China to also give us duty-free, quota-free access.
But we need to actually up our game because, yes, it's the small openings for us to go and trade will not actually heal the domestic economy if we don't up our game.
Yes, please.
Yes, let me take you back to the National Enquirer. There's a story still related to trade. Gezin Bank at 10 drives export growth and industrial transformation. Quickly, the Ghana Export-Import Bank, GESIM, has officially launched activities to commemorate its 10th anniversary, marking a decade of strategic intervention aimed at transforming Ghana's export sector from primary commodity dependence to value-added, export-led industrial growth. This is too much plenty English. Anyway, let me take you to another story that is very troubling, Bernard. There's a story that says customs intercepts 25 million suspected illicit pills hidden in ceiling fan containers at Takoradi Port. So the story on page 3 says the Ghana Customs or officials of Ghana Customs at the Takoradi Port have intercepted an estimated 25 million suspected illicit pills concealed in 240-footer containers at the Atlantic Terminal Services Limited terminal in Takoradi. Now, the seizure followed an intelligence-led operation after frontline officers detected unusual packaging patterns during routine inspection. Now, the discovery prompted an immediate alert to customs management. Acting swiftly, Takoradi Sector Commander Mr. Walter Blankson ordered that the containers be placed under tight surveillance to prevent any interference. Now, the containers were subsequently fully unstaffed for detailed examination. Now, the inspection was conducted. It goes on. But what?
Basically they've caught the people.
Yeah, but what the thing inside? The illicit pills.
The illicit pills. No, I think they are.
So they said officials uncovered millions of tablets suspected to be tapentadol and timaking. They are drugs cleverly hidden among cartons of ceiling fans. The operation also revealed thousands of undeclared electrical appliances.
All right, let's come to you.
So, Bernard, petitions against the OSP, the SP, the EC leadership forwarded to Chief Justice. This is Minister for Government Communications saying, Minister in charge of Government Communications, Felix Huachofosu, has confirmed that 10 petitions filed against Special Prosecutor Kisie Jabing and the Chair of the Electoral Commission, EC, Jean Mensah, together with their 2 deputies, have been forwarded to the Chief Justice, Justice Paul Bafo-Boni, for review. Speaking at the Government Accountability Series in Accra on Wednesday, January 14, Mr. Kwachofosu clarified that the President's role in the matter ends once the petitions are transmitted to the Chief Justice. Quote, unlike the petitions against the Chief Justice, the President's mandate in respect of the petitions against the Special Prosecutor and the Electoral Commissioner and her 2 deputies ends with conveying the petitions to the appropriate quarter, which in this instance is the Chief Justice. Another one here, though, is that the U.S. will not block extradition of Oforiatta Sedina Tamaklo. This is Ablakwa speaking. That's the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. He's disclosed that the United States government has assured Ghana that it will not stand in the way of efforts to extradite 2 high-profile Ghanaians of interest. The 2 individuals are former Minister of Finance Ken Oforiatta and former Maslok Chief Executive Officer Sedina Tamaklo. Details are on page number 4 of the overseer
Bernard,
this
if you,
morning.
if I may, page 4 of the Daily Democrat has a story still talking about people talking about strikes. You know, yesterday we spoke about JUSAG.
Yes.
Today, air traffic safety electronic staff give notice of strike. Now, that story on page 4 of the Daily Democrat says the Ghana Air Traffic Safety Electronics Association, GATSIA, has formally given notice of its intention to embark on a strike if long-standing labor and welfare concerns are not resolved by January 15, 2026. When is January 15? Is it today? Today. Hey. In a press release dated January 5, 2026, the association said the decision was taken in compliance with Section 159 and 160 of the Labor Act 2003, which require at least 7 days notice before any lawful strike can.
I wanted to just touch on a few interesting stories. So Ghanaian engineering construction teams from the armed forces and the engineering regiment of the Jamaican Defense Force have recorded significant progress in rebuilding homes in places in Jamaica like Black River and St. Elizabeth, following a recent hurricane that struck Jamaica. Now, following a disaster which occurred, so I'm reading from Graphic Online, following a disaster which occurred in October last year, the government deployed 54 personnel from the Ghana Armed Forces, 14 Engineers Brigade, Engineer Contingent 1 to Jamaica to support national rebuilding efforts. And communities in these areas in Jamaica were severely hit by the Hurricane Melissa and are being rebuilt steadily. As part of Ghana's humanitarian commitment, Ghana's reconstruction team is working alongside international partners, including the Jamaican Defense Forces, to rebuild homes and support livelihood. I think this is really great. It fills us with a sense of pride. Now, the other one I wanted to touch on was on GNA. Alleged national security operative arraigned over 500,000 CD car auction fraud. Joyce Danso reports on the GNA that a 55-year-old man has appeared before an Adenta Circuit Court for allegedly defrauding a businessman of 500,000 cedis under the pretext of securing an auction vehicle. Bawa Yusuf Sako there, an alleged national security operative, is accused of collecting the amount to facilitate the purchase of a Toyota Land Cruiser. The vehicle was purportedly seized by government and auctioned at the Tema Harbour, but Sako there failed to deliver. Charged with defrauding by false pretenses, he pleaded not guilty. The court admitted him to bail in a sum of 600,000 with 2 sureties and ordered him to report to the police station every Monday. And the details are given. I just want to point out that this penchant for people to claim to be national security and to do all kinds of dubious things is important, and when they are caught, they are given high profile coverage, so it deters other people from doing same. So that's a good story coming in from Adenta.
Bernard, one to me's accomplice quote unquote granted 10 million Ghana city bill. That's daily guide this morning. Operations manager of Akunta Mining, Kwejo Owusu Bempa, who is accused of abetting Ashanti regional chairman of the NPP, Bernard Ntribu Osiako, aka Chairman Wuntumi, was yesterday admitted to a bail of 10 million Ghana cedis with 3 sureties, one to be justified. The accused, who is said to be on the run since the filing of the charges against him and his boss, was arrested by law enforcement agencies and dragged before the court yesterday in handcuffs. He pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of undertaking mining without a license, abetting the unauthorized felling of trees in the forest reserve, and abetting unauthorized erecting of structures in the forest. He pleaded not guilty to all 3 charges, and his lawyer Andrew Votsia pleaded with the court to grant him bail pending the trial.
Before I go, Bernard, let me just tell you briefly about the editorial of the Ghanaian Times, which talks about the exploitation of commuters.
Stop the exploitation of commuters
now. Yes, they say transportation is not a luxury. It is a basic necessity that fuels productivity, economic participation, and social mobility. When citizens are forced to spend excessively on daily commuting, the nation indirectly stifles economic life and punishes its
Let me go to Al Jazeera. Polls open in Uganda amid crackdown, fears of violence, and internet blackout. UN Human Rights Office has stressed open access to communication and information is key to free and genuine elections. And basically, Uganda is on edge as polls have opened with President Museveni expected to extend his 4-decade rule amid the police crackdown on the opposition, fears of violence, and an internet shutdown. Uganda is holding a contentious general election today after a Ugandan government regulatory body instructed mobile network operators to block public internet access starting on Tuesday evening. Polls were slow to open, and as is usual in Uganda, details are given. Of course, the main contender is Bobby Wine, a musician turned politician. He's 43 years old and is hoping to win that election.
Oh, where's my man? Kiza Busy? He's still in cells.
He's in prison.
Oh, Charlie, this matter.
Charlie.
We'll carry on for Kenya.
It's serious. Anyway, Charlie, we'll leave it here. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Caleb. Coming up next is City Business News with Neti Ajaho.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. At what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel where I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small. Go. Joe Pana. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
So for more from the world of business, at 7, Neti Ajaho is here with the details. Good morning, Net.
Good morning, Bernard. You're welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, EcoBank and Valex. Coming up, governments urged to implement measures as sector vulnerabilities threaten Ghana's growth despite 3.8 expansion. Also, heightened OMC competition drives fresh fuel price review. And much later, stakeholders in the agri sector push for new industries authority to strengthen Ghana's industrialization agenda. Thanks for your time. Let's settle for our stories now. Despite recording a 3.8% economic expansion in October 2025, government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisun is cautioning that vulnerabilities in key sectors could constrain Ghana's growth outlook. While the headline figures point to a recovering economy, he says sustained progress will depend on stabilizing inflation, foreign exchange markets and energy supply. According to him, predictable economic conditions remain critical for attracting investment and supporting long-term production.
The FX side, at all times, if you want to grow your economy, you need stabilization. And when we say economic stabilization, we are talking about tolerable levels of the key economic indicators in the 4 sectors of the economy. So for example, price, which is inflation. There's no way you'll be able to grow your economy if you are in an environment of hyperinflation or inflation that you cannot predict. Today it is 20, tomorrow it is 25, it is 35. You can't predict it. It's extremely difficult. No economy grows within such, such an environment. Things are so unpredictable. You will not be able to attract businesses to come and invest in the country to produce the goods and services that increase the GDP. So you need to watch inflation movement. But you also have to watch the FS movement, because FS movement, when they are stable, when they are predictable, is also as what? The macroeconomic stabilization environment that I'm talking about. So FS movement can pose some risks if they are very volatile. They are very, very volatile. They can pose some risks. In fact, there are other risks. For example, if you take the energy sector. Without energy, can we produce goods and services in the country? No. So again, that's a huge risk factor you have to look at. So if you have an energy sector that is bedeviled with a lot of issues, whether financial or non-financial, and you don't identify and mitigate those risks, it will affect your growth, because you need constant energy production to support what? The growth process.
Dr. Alhassan Idrisu is a government statistician. Now, the downstream petroleum sector is preparing for another round of price adjustments as the second pricing window for January opens later this week. The anticipated changes come against the backdrop of intensified competition among oil marketing companies, which has recently exerted downward pressure on fuel prices across the market. Daniel Sakiti has more in this report.
The year kicked off with market leader Star Oil adjusting prices twice in the first week, a move industry players linked to competition with state-owned GWEL. These adjustments aligned with industry expectations, supported by favorable refined petroleum product cost and a stronger Citi. Crude oil prices are hovering just above $60 per barrel, and while the Citi has seen short-term gains, it may face near-term pressures from early import demand. This leaves OMCs with a key decision: maintain prices, cut them further, or raise fuel costs. For consumers, the trend is positive. Chamber of Petroleum Consumers says heightened competition benefits price-sensitive buyers, with COPEC Executive Secretary Duncan Amwa noting that sustained price rivalry among OMCs could work in consumers' favor.
What GWEL has done is very instructive, that they can cut a lot of things and be able to go down significantly to give their consumers the kind of relief that they think the consumer deserves. We applaud them. Effectively, same day, Star Oil also responds and say, okay, we can go down further. And then you had Total come up to also say they could also go down, and they've gone down. So for us, price wars, it's the best thing that the Ghanaian consumer can get from the oil marketing companies. And we are hoping that the other OMCs that have not responded would also respond, so that every Ghanaian living everywhere can be able to get very efficient prices that makes their pocket easier. We live to see what happens in the second window, January, if the price wars will be sustained. But the more it sustains itself, the better it is for the downstream, so that they don't only go for margins, but they also go for volumes.
That was the Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amwa, ending the report. By Citi Business News' Daniel Sakiti. Now, the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana is calling for the creation of a National Industries Development and Regulatory Authority to coordinate industrial financing and raw material supply chains. The proposal, the Chamber says, stems from what it describes as the weak performance of the One District, One Factory program. Here's more.
The Chamber argues that Ghana's industrialization drive faltered largely because factories were financed at interest rates ranging from 22 to 47%, making long-term manufacturing investment economically unsustainable. It added that development finance institutions priced loans like speculative capital rather than patient industrial funding, while reduced tax incentives, weak local content policies, and the absence of guaranteed raw material systems left many factories operating far below capacity. As a result, job creation targets were missed, production costs surged, and several plants struggled to survive despite significant public support. The Chamber insists the new authority would not add another layer of bureaucracy, but would instead consolidate overlapping mandates under a single, competent, and independent regulator.
Daniel Odro-Mensah filed that report. Now, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust has increased the maximum insurable earnings for contributors to 69,000 Ghana cedis for the 2026 financial year. The adjustment, announced in a public notice dated January 14, represents an increase from the previous ceiling of 61,000 Ghana cedis. SNIT says the revision was undertaken in consultation with the National Pensions Regulatory Authority and is in line with Section 63 of the National Pensions Act. With the new threshold, the maximum annual contribution payable to SNIT will rise to 9,315 Ghana cedis. SNIT has urged employers and members of the scheme affected by the revised earnings to take note of the changes and ensure that the appropriate contributions are paid. Now, the Ghana Export-Import Bank is exploring blended finance arrangements to provide low-interest funding for farmers under government's Nkukor Nketenkete poultry program. This is part of efforts to scale domestic chicken production and curb imports. The proposed structure will see Exim Bank deploy capital alongside commercial banks, allowing its lower cost funds to dilute prevailing market interest rates and improve access to affordable credit across the poultry value chain. Speaking on the sidelines of the Ghana Exim Bank Attend Press launch, CEO of the bank, Sylvester Mensah, said the initiative aligns with the bank's broader mandate to support agro-industrial development.
There is a major program for Nkukor Nketenkete And this program is being complemented by all financial institutions. When we talk of blended finance, we are looking at Exim Bank providing low interest funding, and we are looking at commercial banks and Exim Bank coming together to blend the finance in such a way that the high interest rates of the commercial banks will be tempered by the low rate of Exim Bank in order to provide some level of flexibility. We in Exim Bank have gone ahead to visit some countries that have excelled in poultry, particularly Ivory Coast. In Ivory Coast today, they don't import frozen chicken. Their poultry industry is at its peak, and they produce 100% poultry and chicken that they consume. Ghana wants to get to that stage.
Sylvester Mensah is the CEO of the Ghana Export-Import Bank. And before we go on the interbank market, the dollar is going for 10 cedis, 70 pesos. The pound is trading at 14 cedis, 39 pesos. And the euro at 12 cedis, 47 pesos. And that's it for the breakfast edition of the City Business News. I am Neteli Nete Ajahu. Have a good morning.
Hey, do they want to sack you dry? Shall tin way engagement things and kwenye. Hey, sure. They even added washing machine, fridge, flat screen TV, 65 inches and so. How do they expect you to buy all these and still take care of your family? Oh, Kwame.
Mama. And how cry? With Access Bank's Pick Now Pay Later, we can get everything now in minutes and pay at 0% interest over the next 6 months. Eye Koko cry.
Hey, sir.
Access Bank says faster is here. With a now digitized Speak Now Pay Later, life's big moments are within reach. Just click, pick, approved in minutes. For more information, call our 24-hour contact center on 0800 00 4400. Terms and conditions apply. Access Bank, more than banking.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Mappé. Et Mappé. Hey, Asamo. French idiot. This is a midi croissant.
Meet a Jan. She makes sobolo in a small shop in Kaswa. She's going places with MTN Ejumapa. Now, she's learning French kakra to teach her francophone customers indigenous recipes.
Watashi no namae wa.
Watashi no na. My boy.
Whoa. She's learning Japanese too? Watash. What? If you're a woman with a small business, join MTN Ejumapa today by dialing *5060# and enjoy 150 megabytes data, a lifestyle bundle for social media, free MTN to MTN calls every Monday, and an insurance cover. You will also gain access to expert training, discounts on digital tools, and financial support to grow the business of your dreams. Terms and conditions apply. MTN.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Thank you, Natali Nete Ajaho, for the breakfast edition of the CD Business News. Next is Kickoff. That's who's here to serve you there? Isaac Gabriel Affair. Take up the head, so let me see whether your solar panel is shining. Well, the business news was brought to you by Access Bank. At Access Bank, we are rewarding our customers. That's why we've rolled out the loyalty program. It's designed to add value to your everyday banking experience. Whether you're shopping, traveling, or handling business expenses, every transaction you make with your Access card brings you closer to exclusive benefits, premium privileges, and personalized rewards, all tailored to suit your lifestyle. Points earned through your card transactions can be redeemed seamlessly at any of our merchant partners nationwide, making your spending go even further. So whether you're a frequent flyer, regular shopper, or managing daily family business, personal or business needs, Rewards by Access ensures you get more from every spend. Use your Access card today and enjoy a rewarding banking experience only with Access Bank. LoyaltyRewards.ghana.accessbankplc.com is where to visit. 0800 004400 is our toll-free number. Access Bank, more than banking. And the business news was also brought to you by MTN. MTN has the free after one extra, which makes you talk for a very long time. 1 whole hour uninterrupted. You pay for only the first minute of every 10 minutes you talk. That means for every 10 minutes you talk within the hour, you only pay for the first minute, and you get to talk for 60 minutes straight with no interruptions. If you like what you hear, well, there is more. You will get 100 megabytes of data for free after your first call on Saturdays. To subscribe to MTN Free After One Extra today, just dial star 550 hash, star 550 hash, and you're good to go. Time to bring you kickoff. That's brought to you by Lesheho and Shell. As we start the new year, Lesheho wants to thank you, cherished customers, for trusting, supporting, and doing business with them. Your loyalty means everything to them. In this new year, they look forward to working with you even more, supporting your goals, your dreams, your financial growth, and improving your lives with innovative financial solutions. So from all of us at Lesheho Ghana, we wish you a prosperous, fulfilling, and successful new year. Lesheho, let's improve life. It's been filling after filling at Shell. Drivers all over Ghana, including Emmanuel Emisa, that's in Accra, Japan, J. Collins, Kumasi, Bright, Aqua, Takrade. They've all already won free fuel just by trying the new and improved Shell fuels. You could be next in our upcoming weekly draw from now to the end of the month of February. When you buy 300 Ghana cedis worth of the new and improved Shell fuels, you stand a chance to win big. 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and even 1 year free fuel up for grabs. What a feeling. Don't miss this opportunity. Visit the nearest Shell service station, fill up for an opportunity to become one of our weekly winners. It's a promo that's regulated on the NLA's Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. New and improved Shell fuels. Better by far. Ladies and gentlemen, kick off Gabi Offer.
Is put Morocco on the brink. In Citi from 12 yards out to send Morocco into the final. Finds it with conviction. He finds eternity for Morocco. Nigeria will play for third, but it is Morocco who will face Senegal in the final. They could not do it in 120 minutes, but through penalties, they have got the place in the final.
Yiselve Net-Siri with that decisive sport kick after Yasin Bunu has saved 2 of the Super Eagles' efforts from 12 years out, and the Atlas Lions will now meet Senegal in the final on Sunday, January 18 in Rabat from the 2025 African Cup of Nations. More reactions coming up. Also, we look ahead to this.
Neto's corner. Garnacho with a hit! He's done it again! A second lifeline offered to Chelsea by the substitute. Liam Rosenior threw on in this second half.
All right, so Chelsea losing the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-finals at Stamford Bridge. Goalkeeper Robert Sanchez made 2 errors that contributed to Arsenal's 2 out of the 3 goals they scored against Chelsea. All of that plus some other stories coming up in the next 10 minutes right here on 97.3 Citi FM. Kickoff is proudly brought to you by Western Union, Polyton Ghana, Shell V Power, and Lesheho. Let's improve life. Alright, I'm Gabi Offer. Let's begin with updates from Morocco. And we had 2 semi-finals taking place in Tanger and Rabat last night. Host nation Morocco will now meet Senegal in the final of the African Cup of Nations after a gripping semi-final double header delivered drama, tension, and contrasting parts to qualification. Morocco sealed their place in Sunday's showpiece in Rabat by edging Nigeria 4-2 on penalties after a goalless draw following extra time, as the hosts once again relied on composure and defensive resilience to survive a high-stakes knockout tie. Let's get the thoughts of Nigeria's head coach, Eric Shaw.
It's a lot of things, the intensity, technically, in the movement. Morocco, they deserved this victory, but our state of mind was good. We fight on every ball, and before this game, I talked to the press conference, and I said something. Everybody tried to, this is a bluff, or I'm a liar. I know my group, and for sure, it was not easy for us for this game, but.
All right, so that's Nigeria's head coach, Eric Shaw, struggling to put words together after they failed to reach the finals of the AFCON. Let's get a thought of Nigeria fullback Bright Osai Samuel.
Very painful to obviously lose. I think we played very well. The back four was amazing. I'm proud of the team. The manager came down and said he's proud of the team. The board members came down and said they're proud of the team. So really painful that we lost on penalties. Penalties is all about luck. It's a lottery, and today we didn't win that. One thing I would say is that the referee was appalling. Not saying that that's the reason why we lost, but just making very, very wrong decisions. And it's really painful to see that we have refs like that in a big game like today. But I wish Morocco all the best.
All right, so that's Nigeria's fullback Bright Osai Samuel speaking there. Well, one Nigerian journalist rated Daniel Lai's performance after the Morocco-Nigeria clash in the semis. Let's get a thought of him.
3/10. Why? It's not because I want to give excuse for Nigerians for our loss, but because it was so obvious that it was refereeing from a place of I'm under pressure. You understand? It was so obvious. Most of the yellow cards that were supposed to give to Moroccan players to caution them, he didn't, and unlucky for us, we are out. So no much bites on him. 3/10.
Right, so that's Nigerian journalist rating Daniel Lai's performance last night's clash. So for Nigeria, what it meant is that they have now lost 5 times against AFCON hosts in 11 games played. It's 3 draws and 3 wins. Let's get a thought of some Nigerians after they failed to make it to the finals.
Everything was wrong with this game. Starting with the fact that for Nigerians to get tickets, it was a problem. For all of us to get tickets. We eventually got tickets, and where we did na Nigerian supporter side. And somehow, these people still enter where we sit down. So my question is to CAF. Why will you allocate a number of seats to Nigerian supporters and you still sell these tickets to the opponents? But that is not why I'm here. This is the worst. I've lost my voice. This is the worst officiating I have seen since I became a football fan. Morocco committed at least nothing less than 10 fouls. Hakimi committed at least 4 fouls. No card, not even a warning from the ref, not even a warning.
For me, I think the boys, they do their best. They played well, and Nigerians should be proud of this team, because I pray they keep the coach and keep this environment for the team. Because I think this team, they need to grow. I met some Moroccans, he was talking about Kevin Bassey. He had been following him. He said, Kevin Bassey is not even in his prime yet at all. Players like Kevin Bassey, they need to maintain them, even beg them. Lose focus on national, because these are, Kevin is a pillar for me.
Well, some interesting thoughts from some Nigerian supporters after losing in last night's semi-final clash against the host nation, Morocco. Well, in Tangier, early on Wednesday, Senegal booked their return to the AFCON final with a narrow 1-0 victory over Egypt, ending the Pharaohs' hopes of a record-extending 8th continental title, and also underlining the Lions of Teranga's growing pedigree at the top level of African football. For the Senegalese, it's their 3rd AFCON final in the last 4 tournaments, having won the 2021 AFCON last time out. And so the final will be played on Sunday, January 18 at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium in Rabat. And then Egypt and Nigeria will contest for the third place playoff on Saturday, January 17 at the Mohammed V Stadium in Casablanca. Still on the AFCON, Cameroon Football Federation President Samuel Eto'o has been handed a 4-match ban for alleged misconduct during the team's 2-0 defeat by host Morocco last Friday. Now, Eto'o was reportedly seen making an angry gesture over refereeing decisions in the presence of CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe. CAF's disciplinary board fined Eto'o $20,000, a decision the Cameroon Football Federation said it lacks any explicit justification. We stay with the AFCON, but women's football and Ghana's Black Queens will know the opponents for the 2026 WAFCON, set to be played when the draw is held later today. The Black Queens are in Port 1 alongside South Africa, reinforcing their status among Africa's elites heading into the final. So the full pot for the draw, Port 1 has Morocco, the host nation. There is Nigeria, South Africa, and also Ghana. For Port 2, there is Zambia, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, and Algeria. Port 3 has got Senegal, Mali, Egypt, and Burkina Faso. And Port 4 has Cape Verde, Tanzania, Kenya, and Mali. So we'll bring you updates later in our subsequent bulletins. Well, away from the AFCON, Julius Emuna has announced his resignation from the Ghana Football Association after almost 10 years of service. Emuna served as the head of competitions at the GFA. He joined the GFA in 2016 as the Western Regional Secretary before Regional Administrative Manager of the Western Regional Football Association, a role he held until 2020. Now, the reports are that he is expected to replace Delali Anku Idiama as the Managing Director of Accra Heart of Oak. Let's take it to Stamford Bridge, and Arsenal will take a narrow advantage into the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final after a frantic 3-2 first leg win at Chelsea. Goals from Ben White, Victor Gyökeres, and Martin Zubimendi saw the Gunners take victory at Stamford Bridge. But Alejandro Garnacho struck on 2 occasions after coming off the bench. Here is Liam Rosinia, Chelsea's head coach.
What a dramatic 5-goal thriller to mark your first home game as the new Chelsea head coach. Before we get into the details of what happened on the pitch, how did it feel?
Yeah, at the start, it's a dream for me to be at a club of this size, a wonderful stadium, got a really nice welcome. Crazy game. I love the energy of my team. We kept going until the end, frustrated with the manner in which we conceded the goals, but a lot of positive aspects to our performance, considering the players we had out today.
All right, so that's Chelsea's head coach, Liam Rosinia, speaking after the 3-2 loss against Arsenal. Speaking of Arsenal, here's Mikel Arteta after the 3-2 win against Chelsea.
Such a team with the quality that they have in every department and do what we've done throughout the game. But it's true with the 1-3 and the dominance that we showed and the 2 big chances that we had to put the 4th one. In the best moment, they scored the goal. That obviously changed the game. But overall very happy, but it could have been better.
All right, so that's Arsenal's boss, Mikel Arteta, speaking there. Well, to some transfer updates, and Tottenham have confirmed the signing of England midfielder Conor Gallagher from Spanish side Atletico Madrid for £35 million. Spurs beat Aston Villa to the 25-year-old signature, with the former Chelsea player joining on a deal running until 2031. In Spain, Madrid were knocked out of the Copa del Rey by second division Albacete in Alvaro Arbeloa's first game in charge. The game ended 3-2 in favour of the second division side Albacete. Former Liverpool and Madrid defender, that's Arbeloa. He rested Kylian Mbappe, Rodrigo, and Thibaut Courtois, and also Jude Bellingham before Saturday's La Liga game against Levante. All right. Let's finish off with some tennis, and Emma Raducanu has been handed a tough path at the Australian Open despite being seeded with world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka potentially awaiting in the 3rd round. Austria's Anastasia Potapova or Netherlands' Suzanne Lamens would be Raducanu's 2nd round opponents before a rematch of last year's Wimbledon clash against Sabalenka, which also came in the 3rd round. For Venus Williams, he's set to become the oldest woman to compete in an Australian Open main draw, surpassing the record of 44 years old, previously held by Japan's Kimiko Date and co-face compatriot Coco Gauff, with the American duo win their opening matches. Well, that's the very latest in the world of sport. For more, you can head to citysportsonline.com and on X at City Sports JJ. Kickoff is proudly brought to you by Western Union, Polytan Ghana, Shell V Power, Leshell. Let's improve life. I'm Gabi Ofer. We're back later, 5 p.m. with Sport Flash.
Papa no no, papa no no, papa no no, papa no no, no, papa no no, Ankasa. Polytan is everywhere, durable and authentic. Stronger brand you can trust. Polytan, we get some more Rambo and get some more super. And the Polytan, we did. Polytan, papa no no, papa no no, papa no no, papa no no, no, papa no no, Ankasa.
Always the best.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
If you need unique services,
come to Let's Go.
Innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's go, we improve your life.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, mama. Hey, mama. Hey, mama.
Even when you're stuck with nothing,
come to Let's Go.
No matter your situation,
come to Let's Go.
Let's go, we improve your life.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, mama. Hey, mama. Hey, mama.
Let's go, we improve your life.
Every family is a team, and every player has a role. Mums and dads, siblings, grandparents, aunts and uncles, and even that one cousin who can't tell a foul from offside, but who always remembers your birthday. Even if you're far away, you can still score for your team. Send them money with Western Union. Cash pickup in minutes. Check it out at westernunion.com.
Papa no no, papa no no, papa no no, papa no no, no, papa no no, Ankasa. Polytan is everywhere, durable and authentic. Stronger brand you can trust. Polytan, we get some more Rambo and get some more super. And the Polytan, we did. Polytan, papa no no, papa no no, papa no no, papa no no, no, papa no no, Ankasa.
Always the best.
Your skin deserves the best care possible. Introducing Princess Premium Lotion, crafted with vitamin B3 for all your skin types. Choose from our 4 luxurious variants: Radiant Skin with cocoa butter and vitamin E, Skin Revitalization, enriched with aloe vera and vitamin E, Healthy Glow featuring lemon and vitamin E, plus SPF 15 sun protection, and Skin Rejuvenation with carrot oil and vitamin A. Take care of the future you with Princess Premium Lotion. Princess Premium Lotion is your perfect choice. Available now for your everyday skincare needs. The GC brand, it's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
This is a story of determination. This is the story of Anthony Owusu-Ansah and his delivery business, Shark Express. What started as one man's dream is now a thriving same-day delivery business that serves hundreds of families. Through financing, mentorship, business networks, and market access, APSA is helping businesses like Shark Express grow, create jobs, build futures, and deliver joy across Ghana. Behind Anthony's success isn't only hard work. It's having the right partner like APSA, one that helps him dream bigger and reach further every day. From funding to guidance, APSA stands with entrepreneurs who dare to dream.
We see your story and we invite you to write it with us. Your story matters. APSA.
Day of Christmas, my Maggie gets
Delicious Christmas with Maggie. Yemamwa fish yapa. Me and Maggie, so good together. This advert is FDA approved.
We are officially sold out. 10 years of memories, 10 years of adventure, 10 years of culture and crazy good vibes. This March, we're turning it all the way up from the 1st to the 8th of March 2026. 8 days, 14 regions, one legendary caravan. Rolling out from Greater Accra through Eastern and OT, up north to the Northern and Upper East, and all the way to the Western region, hitting iconic destinations across Ghana. Expect non-stop fun, breathtaking views, deep cultural immersion, and unforgettable moments. This is more than a trip. It's culture in motion, adventure without limits. Pack your bags and get ready. 10 years of the Heritage Caravan, experiencing the sights and sounds of Ghana. You cannot miss this. The Heritage Caravan 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from Citi 97.3 FM. Terms and conditions apply. Heritage Caravan 2026, experience Ghana like never before.
Whether you're buying water from your favorite spots in Osu, shopping online for the latest styles, or booking your next getaway to Dubai, MasterCard gives you the freedom to pay your way. Insert, tap, swipe, click. So many options, yet so easy. With layers of security protecting every payment, your money stays safe. From Trotro to travel, MasterCard connects you to the life you've earned and the one you dream of. Ask your bank for MasterCard today. MasterCard. Safe, convenient, priceless.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
Most wanted woman. Her photo is hanging on every post office wall. If you have any information about this woman, please contact the nearest police station.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Time check in the studios, 7:39, 97.3 Citi FM. Couple of birthday requests coming through this morning. Happy birthday to Ernestina Konote, Member Solutions Officer of Chartered Insurance Institute of Ghana. May God answer your secret prayers from the entire team at the Institute. Happy 40th to Ekwa Asamoah Dufie of the Apostolic Church Ghana, Ni Boyman Central. God continue to bless you. We love you. From Kofi Chemating and your family. I have a question for commuters who listen to the show whilst they are moving to or from work. Particularly those who depend on public transport. If you depend on public transport, how has it been in the past month? Is the concern we're raising about what we are calling a mini transport crisis, are those concerns legitimate? How do you get to work? Send me a voice note or a WhatsApp message. I'd like to know. Has it become more difficult in terms of the cost? Is it the fact that the trotters are not available? Is it that they are doing tot? Or for you, you just depend on your company's vehicle, so you don't have any challenge? So send me a WhatsApp voice note or a WhatsApp message on 053-998-6996. How has it been commuting to and from home or to and from work these past few weeks? In the meantime, help me wish Dr. Emmanuel Davis, a consultant plastic surgeon at Lekma Hospital, a happy birthday. May the rest of his years be blessed more than ever. This is from Constance, who's with Lekma Theatre. And this topic or preamble doesn't apply to just those who are in Accra. If you're listening in Kumasi, in Tamale, or wherever, how do you get to work? What's the means of transport you use? Yeah, it's interesting to know what percentage of our listeners drive themselves to work or hire boat or Uber or regular taxi or take trotro or go by bus or walk or ride a bicycle or go by train.
And let me say belated happy birthday to a distinguished Ghanaian diplomat, celebrated not only locally but internationally. A man of stamina, a man of great wisdom, a man of serious temperament, who has impacted Ghana's foreign policy positions in many, many diverse ways. Former Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable James Victor Baho, who at some point was a member of parliament. He turned 91 years yesterday, still very much with us. We pray that the Lord God will continue to bless him, protect him, and elongate his life so we can drink a lot more from his fountain of wisdom.
Amen.
Coming from all of us,
yes,
and
yes.
Then also Ruth Senope Adolo.
Birthday message is brought to you by MasterCard. Don't just wish a message, spend, swipe, insert, or tap with a MasterCard and give your loved ones a priceless gift. We're still talking transportation this morning, and we're asking our listeners to tell us how you commute to work. Has it been more difficult these past few weeks? Is it that you're not getting a vehicle at all? Is it that you spend too much time? What's the real issue? We want you to talk to us. Send us a voice note on 053-998-6996. If you're even sitting in a Trotsky, you can still do a voice note, right? Put that number on your phone and just use your finger to move it and do a recording, just like 30 seconds, a minute. We want to hear from you. Or you can send us a WhatsApp text message 053-998-6996. How do you commute to work? Has it become more difficult, particularly those of you live in urban areas? Why travel abroad when world-class education is here in Ghana? Lancaster University Ghana gives you a British degree, help you develop employability skills, and enjoy a campus experience that inspires growth and confidence. Apply now to study with expert faculty trained in UK or trained to UK standards right here in Ghana. Visit lancaster.edu.gh or call 0248 656 274. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa. For years, owning a home felt far away, a dream for others but not for you. But at Locust Estates, every Ghanaian deserves comfort, dignity, and modern living. So we are building beautifully crafted 3-bedroom houses, townhouses, which are safe, secure, and community focused. Locust Estate gives you smart design in prime locations. Reach us on 0200 557 704 or visit locustestate.com today. Award-winning Ghana focus built for more. Locust Estates, modern living made possible. And the question is, how good a year was 2025? How great a year will 2026 be? How can you ensure you do not miss the numerous opportunities offered by the continent? Join over 400 businesses and policy experts at Crystal Ball Africa, the ultimate business opportunity conference for the continent. It's on Thursday, the 22nd of January at Labadi Beach Hotel, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the theme, The Africa Opportunity, Time to Take Advantage. Now, this will involve people from all over the continent. Register by going to crystalballafrica.com. And the event is sponsored by EcoBank, Labadi Beach Hotel, AGI, Kawamoka, with media partners Citi FM and Joy FM. Event is powered by AB and David Africa.
Right. So the GRA wishes to remind all withholding tax agents, including VAT withholding agents appointed by the Commissioner General, that withholding taxes must be paid to the Domestic Tax Revenue Division of the GRA by the 15th of every month. Withholding taxes for December 2025 will therefore be due by Thursday, today, 15th January 2026. Withholding taxes include withholding on VAT deducted from suppliers operating the VAT standard rate, employment, payment for the supply or use of goods, payment for the supply of any works, payment for the supply of services, and all other withheld taxes for December 2025 are due by Thursday, today, 15th January 2026. They may also submit hard or soft copies of schedules indicating gross amount, tax deducted, names of taxpayers, 10 Ghana card PIN from whom the taxes were withheld. We also encourage taxpayers to file their returns online via taxpayersportal.com. Note that failure to pay tax by due date attracts an interest of 125% of the statutory rate compounded monthly on the outstanding tax. Please also know that third-party checks require 2 days to clear. The GRA can be reached by email on info@gra.gov.gh, by WhatsApp on 0552 990 000, toll free number 0800 900 110. So these are for the drivers. Enterprise Insurance has been in the business for 102 years, and they are going strong. They are your go-to. They are doing the road to the ultimate football experience. You don't only protect your car when you get insurance, you get extra rewards. You enjoy free fuel coupons, airtime, shopping vouchers, and then stand a chance to win an all-expense paid ultimate football experience live at the stadium. Insure your car now with Enterprise and be part of the Insure Naturally promo. It runs till May this year. We are doing this on the NLA's Caritas platform. Enterprise is your advantage.
All right. The other question this morning is, how feasible would it be if existing transport organizations like the OA Transport, VIP, decided to enter the intracity? I think the challenge we are facing is the intracity transportation. Intercity seems to be fairly okay. Accra, Kumasi, Tamale to Sunyani and all those are pretty okay. At least we haven't heard too much. Of course, during the Christmas break, we heard that there were people stranded at lorry stations, but that's more cyclical and seasonal. What we are seeing is an unprecedented challenge with commuting within urban spaces, and the GPRTU has not been able to manage this very well. Yesterday, the Minister for Transport spoke to the media. He says they are doing some things to ease the challenge. Let me just play you the audio of what he said. Joseph Bukari Nikpe says he's been engaging with Metro Mass Transit and STC as part of measures to curb the problem.
It was initial arrangements just to cater for the festive periods, which we did, and it was very helpful. But we realized that when they were withdrawn, it created some challenges. So I re-engaged the MD of Metro Mass Transit Limited and then the Intercity STC coaches, and they have reintroduced some few of them. We are looking at the daily basis movement and seeing if we need to add more, then we'll add more. Again, we are also at the verge of seeing how we can get the private sector to bring in more of the buses and other vehicles to be able to help when it gets to peak hours in the mornings and in the evenings.
So during December, they engaged STC to supply some buses to augment the routes. We don't know how long that lasted. It's very clear that's not a solution that's going to be sustainable because STC itself doesn't have enough buses. STC itself is struggling. I'm told they are expecting some buses in March. Let's hear from the GPRTU. They have been speaking about this. The Deputy Industrial and Public Relations Officer, Samuel Amwa, has been speaking to Channel 1 Newsroom on the challenge commuters face.
I heard the communication minister when he came out with this explanations about shortage of vehicles, and some of the vehicles even don't come to the stations, and rather has chosen not to work, and that has caused passengers to be stranded and all that. You see, the GPRTU will never ever encourage our drivers not to come to the station to come and pick vehicles, but rather advise them or support them by going using the roadside to be picking passengers. Let me establish this fact that the GPRTU, we are transport union, that when the vehicles come to the station to come and pick passengers, there is a toll that they pay, there is a dues that they pay. So how come we will not ask them to come to the stations? Those problems that are happening at the roadside, where you find passengers being stranded and drivers taking advantage of that and charging them unapproved fares and all that. Those vehicles that do that don't belong to the union, because we have made some checks to find out that our unions or our union vehicles are part of those vehicles that practices this issue of charging unapproved fares. And the result that we have been receiving is that most of them are floating vehicles. So that is why even today we had a brief meeting, and we are organizing ourselves to hit the street, to pick our union guys and our task force team to make sure that if our vehicles are being found that they are doing that, we will quickly cause their arrest, and then there is a sanction that will be applied to them. But those that don't belong to the unions, that we have some small challenges with that. Even as I'm speaking to you, we are having a meeting. We'll be having a meeting with the transport minister, hopefully by Friday. And these are some of the issues we are going to talk about. But we ourselves are not happy with what is happening, at the transport sector now.
Mr. Moore, there are some allegations against drivers, and you say they're not your members. So how then do you address the situation of drivers who pick, for lack of a better term, shorts? So they're going to Circle, but they'll get to Tesano and take a new fare to Abeka and take a new fare before they get to Circle. How do you intend to address that issue?
Okay, so at our various stations, supposing you are at Circle and you want to go to Nsawam, and you go to Nsawam station where they pick Nsawam vehicles, you pay Nsawam fare, and we'll make sure that the driver will take you to Nsawam. But what is happening is, when you pick the vehicle by the roadside, and maybe the driver will tell you, I am going to Achimota or I'm going to Pokwase, then you get on board. When you get to Pokwase, he will probably alight you at Pokwase. Meanwhile, maybe the driver, he's going to Nsawam all right, but because he didn't pick you from the station, that is why they normally do that. And we always encourage the passengers to come to the stations. So when you come to the station and you pick a vehicle that is going to your destination, there is no way the driver will just alight you halfway and be charging you SS and all that.
Right. Fuel prices and spare parts have reduced, yet fares remain unchanged. Can you explain this phenomenon to us?
Yes, fuel prices, yes, it has been reduced. We have a percentage threshold that we normally use. I quite remember when we had our 15% reduction in April last year. But then the fuel price was around 13 cedis thereabout when we had that reduction of 15%. After that, it went down. It went up again to 14 to 15, then it started coming down again. We are monitoring, but the spare parts, you see, the spare parts has not been reduced. We have had series of meetings with the Spare Parts Dealers Association, probably the Abosokan Spare Parts Dealers Association, and we told them that, or we came out that our parts has not been reduced. Yes, they came out with some list of parts that they have reduced, and those parts we are not using them. Those vehicles that are those vehicle parts that has been reduced, we are not using those vehicles. The vehicles we are using is the Sprinter buses, the Toyota Haze buses, the Nissan buses. Those are the buses we use for trotro.
So that was the Deputy Industrial and Public Relations Officer of GPRT, Samuel Amwa, speaking to Eno Safo of Citi and Channel 1. Now, let me go back to what the minister said. The minister said they have introduced buses to ease congestion and that they had engaged with Metro Mass Transit and STC to have some buses recalled to support these routes. Mohamed Mubarak Ouattara is the head of communications for Metro Mass. Let's get some comments from him on this issue. Mohamed, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Minister of Transport says he has engaged your organization and STC to introduce some buses to ease the congestion commuters in Accra are facing at peak hours. Can you confirm if this is true, and how many buses of Metro Mass are going to be deployed on which routes?
Thank you very much, Mr. Able. Good morning to your listeners. It's true. I can confirm that the minister met with Metro Mass and our sister companies to make sure that we make some buses available for the rush hours. And Metro Mass, we are able to do that, even though at the moment our fleet of buses are very low, but we've been able to adjust to what the minister directed. So what we did is we are able to, at the time that we close, we've changed the time that we close. And mostly, Metro Mass, we do intra-city. Intra-city, that is what Metro Mass normally do. So what we have to do is that we have to increase some of the routes, not all, because of the lack of fleet of buses, that the low of fleet of buses that we are having. So at the moment, what we do is that from Adenta to Accra to Adenta, we are using the EV buses. We only have 10 EV buses, and all has been working through Accra to Adenta from 4:30 p.m. to even after 8 p.m. Our EV buses is working through that route. Then we have Kaneshi to Kaswa. We've now even increased a station, another one in our yard for Kaswa. Mostly it was at the Kaneshi terminal. Now we've added another one at the head office, the main head office yard from Kaneshi to Kaswa. Then we have from Circle to Amasamai and Nkoko area too. We've also added another bus. Okay. Now we reduce some of the buses that goes to Kumasi and Cape Coast just because of we want to take care of intra-city.
So let me get you right. You have reduced some of the intercity services to deploy those buses for intra.
Intra, yes.
So are they operating from your regular stations, or they operate from the normal trotro stations? So for example, this Adenta to Accra or Kaneshi to Kaswa route, will the additional buses be at regular stations or your regular? How would they be? How will people know?
People know, because when we look at the number of commuters and compared to now, it means that people really know that we've increased our buses. The reason I'm saying that is when I look at from Circle to Kaswa, it has been increased we've added more than 5 buses to take care of that. One thing is that because of private operators, the way because they charge high, all of the passengers mostly come to our yard, our terminal to board our buses because our bus is the lowest in the country when it comes to fare.
I see.
So yes.
All right. The reason I'm asking is that you have just 115 buses, at least as of November, I'm told. Yes. You are only operating 85 routes. Indeed, you were originally supposed to serve 385 routes. And you are operating only 85 routes because you don't have enough buses. You have only 115 buses for the whole country. So I was wondering how such a seriously deprived company can be a solution to a problem like this. So, I mean, and again, your buses themselves don't look in good shape. They look very old, and in fact, one of your officials said to us recently that the previous administration had even sold over 700 buses as scrap. So your fleet level had gone down. In fact, you said your fleet level was at an all-time low in the history of the company. So I'm wondering how such a company can supplement any transport routes.
That is true, Mr. Havlet. And as my deputy MD operation said some few months ago, it's true. This is the time that our fleet level is very low. And the same time, this is the time that our revenue has increased in the history of the company due to the measures that the current MD and his deputies have put in place. One good thing is that very soon, by the end of this month or in the middle of next month, we are going to receive over 350 buses. But for now, due to the congestion in the city, so we are also trying to help because Metro Mass is there to support the vulnerable. So far as in the country, we are facing these challenges. We are doing everything possible to make sure that we will help and at the same time adjust to make sure that the intercity too, we will also serve them and serve them well. One thing is that after Christmas, the intercity has come down a bit, and that is what is helping us to support the intracity movement so that it will help.
I see.
All
right. The government announced, the minister announced in Parliament, I think October, November, that he was planning to procure 500 new buses over the short term to strengthen your operations. And he said those buses will come early 2026. We are in early 2026. Have the buses come yet?
No, the buses hasn't come. And that's what I'm saying, that God willing, by the end of this month of February, because last month, the MD and Deputy Minister went to check, do the final inspection. But when they went, there were some few things that they need to add. Because this time, my brother, there is changes in the transport business. So when we also don't change and also do the old way, I think that we still not get the customers that we want to get. So when they went, there was a few changes they have to add. That's the reason why we haven't been able to receive the buses as I'm talking to you. But God will, inshallah, by the end of this month, or first week of February, the new bus fleet of buses will be available.
Thank you for your time and for those comments. We've been speaking to the head of communication at Metro Mass Transit Limited, Mubarak Mohammed Watara, who's confirming that indeed they have deployed some of the intercity services for intracity. So he said, for example, the Accra Kumasi, some of those buses have been deployed to do the Kasua Kaneshie and the Adenta to Accra. But he did admit that they are expecting some buses next month, and that's possibly going to help. Let me say that we have more interviews coming up. We are trying to understand if the GAPT is also functioning properly. This is the Greater Accra. What's GAPT even stand for? Greater Accra Passenger Transport Executive. GAPT. They are supposed to be the people running the bus rapid transit, which they changed to some other name because the the BRT wasn't running. Kale, remember they changed it, they gave it a different name. They call it the quality bus something.
Yes.
They are the people with the longest type of buses, but even those are not enough. So we like to check with them as well what they're doing. And then we will talk to a transport sort of consultant to explain to us what the real solution is to our urban mobility problems. This is the City Breakfast Show. What's the time? 8:03. Caleb,
Yes.
Tech and Social Media
Tech
Trends.
and Social Media Trends is brought to us by First Bank Ghana. You experience banking in your hands when you use the quick banking or *894# short code First Mobile. Download that app or use the code *894#. You are able to do instant airtime and data purchase, funds transfer to and from your Momo wallet, inter and intra-bank transfers, plus much more. So download the First Mobile app from Apple App Store or the Play Store. Simply dial *894#, follow the prompts, join thousands of customers enjoying seamless banking. For more details, 0596 921 921 is the number to call. First Solutions at firstbankgroup.com is the email address. First Bank, you first.
Edwin Kwakufi is joining us with a segment. Hello, Edwin. Welcome.
Hello, Bernard. Good morning to you. Obviously, transportation is the biggest issue in Ghana at the moment, so it's led to a number of transportation-related topics trending, including GPRTU, who we've heard from on the City Channel 1 newsroom. Ayalolo trending because people are wondering where those buses are. Lots of buses were procured. They seem to be out of service. Transport itself trending, mostly in relation to the transport minister and the deputy transport minister, whose social media platforms have been bombarded by Ghanaians who are upset.
They want a solution.
What is happening at the moment. Also, Dumelo trending because the MP for Ayawaso West Wagon, he managed to get some buses to transport people from Okunglo and Shiashi to various destinations, including La Paz.
I know Okunglo and Shiashi is like in the middle of the Adventa Accra. That's where a lot of the trotto drivers dump people and recollect them.
Exactly. So all round, people are very, very upset with how the transportation system is being managed. A lot of people having to spend time at bus stops for like 2 hours, 3 hours without getting vehicles. So that's
transport is trending in a good way. We will continue with the discussion.
Okay, so a couple of worrying stories. First of all, a story from Akwetia, where the Akwetia Police Command has arrested a man who tried to sell his son for 1 million Ghana cedis.
3-year-old son.
3-year-old son for 1 million.
Or to remove a man to want to do such a thing.
Very, very disturbing story from
really sad.
Akwetia.
Selling to which people?
I don't know, but it's the police who organized this thing. They got in touch with him and then met him and arrested him eventually.
Sell a human being.
Good work from the police to do this, but imagine how many other people are doing this without being caught. Also, a story about 8-year-old Jalila Abdul Jalil. We saw this on Channel 1 newsroom as well. Class 2 pupil at St. Olive's Grammar Boarding School, whose leg might be amputated because her house mistress forced that foot or leg into hot water, scalding water, to try and cure foot fungi which had developed because they kept wearing the same pair of shorts repeatedly. So just worrying story. The school has been shut down. The house mistress is on the run. But obviously a life almost ruined, maybe even ruined by whatever she did. So another terrible story that is coming out from there. So we need to protect our kids a lot more. To football news, and AFCON is on the agenda because we know our finalists of the AFCON 2025, Senegal versus host nation Morocco. Morocco have not won the competition since the 1970s, so they really want to win it. Yesterday's match against Nigeria it ended 0-0 after regulation and extra time, but it was a very exciting match. Went to penalties, and Sami Chukwueze, who was brought in for the penalty shootout, ended up missing one of them.
Oh, Charlie.
And took Nigeria out. But also trending alongside that game is Daniel Lai, the Ghanaian referee who officiated the game. Nigerians are very upset with how he officiated the game.
Come on.
So they've been...
Charlie, we watched the game.
They went on social media.
They should stop that.
Yeah,
they didn't lose the game because of Daniel Lai.
That's fine, but they've also gone on his Instagram page and mass reported him.
That is downward.
For his performance.
The only thing I can say was there was a particular tackle on Lukman, which sort of led to a fast break from Morocco that they thought he should have whistled for a foul. But Lai felt like the ball was legitimately taken. I don't think it's such a bad.
There was another
Nigeria
one
looking for a glorious
come on.
exit.
The referee didn't influence the game against Nigeria. They should stop that. Oh, yeah. The whole idea of you having a Ghanaian referee and Nigerian game is problematic. Because the rivalry and the way the two countries are, I feel like CAF should be minded of these nuances. Yeah. You can't have a Ghanaian officiate the high-profile Nigerian game like that. Even if he doesn't do anything wrong, they will criticize him because it's like a Kotoko supporter officiating a house match. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be some way. Yeah. So they put the guy in a difficult position. I think he did pretty well.
Yeah, he did pretty well.
It was very good.
Actually, Nigerians, stop that.
Another issue.
Even the Nigerian coach said the Moroccans deserve to go through. Yeah. So what's their problem?
But the players are granting interviews saying it was poor officiating. All that.
How many shots did they have on target?
One.
Just one. Yeah, so Nigeria.
Eat and stop that.
The final is on Sunday. The final is on Sunday at 7 p.m. The third place match is on Saturday at 5 p.m. Nigeria will be taking part in that.
Should give them another Ghanaian referee for that one. Unfortunately, we had to get Daniel Lai there.
Yeah.
So I'm giving them another one.
Nigeria will be taking on Egypt. The final will be live on Citi FM, so you can tune in and listen to our analysis before and at halftime and after the game as well. So we'll bring
Thank you.
Yeah, and in tech news, we just finished quickly. Apple will use Google's Gemini models for its revamped Siri. So it's decided to go with Gemini instead of OpenAI. So the two companies were involved in a serious battle to supply Apple phones. It's significant because Apple has a current user base of 20 billion users around the world. So
20 billion. How many people in the world?
It's 20.
2 billion.
2 billion. 2 billion. 2 billion. 2 billion users around the world. So
thank you, Edwin Kwakofi, for that segment. That was Tech and Social Media Trends.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
You're looking for a bank to rely on? Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Would we say to bank baby, no lie. Only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking ain't in me here on the date. I'm a busy person, me no need time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. They tell me office a chilling, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first.
Nobody feel do I'm like us. Do I'm like us. First Bank will treat you first. Treat you first. Somebody see yeah. Think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
Auntie T, I beg, fix me go betete Ghana. No gari, no oil, no plantain, just beans and eggs.
Hey, brah, that be dangerous combination, no?
Problem no day. I feel handle am.
For Telecel, with the Bob say everybody gets what they like. That be why Made For Me bundles day. Based on your usage, you fit get your own data and call packages. Fala! Made For Me bundles like the way you the want town. That *530#, then buy Made For Me bundles today.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Today, we hit the streets to ask Ghanaians, what would you do with free fuel for 1 year?
Oh, road trips with the girls every weekend.
That's extra savings to help fix my car.
Charlie, 1 whole year, I'll finally be able to visit my mom without worrying about the distance.
This season, it's feeling after filling from Shell with new and improved fuels so you can do the things you love. Buy 300 Ghana cedis or more worth of new and improved Shell fuels and stand a chance to win. Free fuel for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or even 1 year. It's time to try the new and improved Shell fuels with additives that deliver efficiency, cleaning, protection, and performance. Don't miss out. Fill up with new and improved Shell fuels and get rewarded. Promo runs till the 28th of February 2026. T's and C's apply.
New and improved Shell fuels. Simply better by far.
Welcome to your financial tips with Solace Finance. Happy New Year! 2026 brings a new beginning and the chance to work towards goals that matter. Whether it is a new phone, travel plans, school fees, or long-term investments such as land, achieving these goals become easier with proper planning and consistent savings. With Solace Target Savings, you can set a clear goal, choose a 3 to 12 month timeline and monthly compounding interest, and monitor your progress directly through the app. Start the new year with clarity, discipline, and direction. Solace is here to support your journey towards a successful 2026. Download the Solace Finance app today. For more information, call or WhatsApp us on 059-957-7963. Solace Finance. Your money, your power.
In Ghanaian parlance, Agrobesa, Efrianopa. To wit, if the festival will be entertaining, it starts from the morning. If 2026 will be amazing, it will very much depend on what we do in January. We bring you the Effective Living Series 2026 on 97.3 Citi FM with different weekly themes. Week 1, know where you want to go. Week 2, develop a plan to get there. Week 3, build capacity to get there. Week 4, take charge and soar. Tune in to 97.3 Citi FM to get a good head start on 2026. The Effective Living Series 2026 airs every weekday in January at 9:15 a.m. prompt, only on 97.3 Citi FM. The Effective Living Series is sponsored by Petra and Hallmark Freight and Consultancy Ghana Limited.
Hey, is it my TV or my eyes? Why? If you say everything clear past my feature.
Oh, Charlie, it's not your eyes, it's the TCL C6K QD Mini LED TV.
With QD Mini LED technology, you get deep blacks, bright highlights, and colors so real. See, even the referee's board head, they shine.
Movies, football, gaming, every detail sharp like a new razor blade.
If your old TV they show bleh bleh, Charlie, it's time to upgrade.
Visit any Electroland Ghana shop for yours and enter the ongoing Achedia promo.
TCL C6K QD Mini LED TV.
TCL, inspire greatness.
Echo. I hear say you be football encyclopedia. Name 2 countries that dominated football back to back.
Italy and Brazil, legends.
You deserve to see the ultimate football experience live and colored.
Enterprise Insurance Insurna Chile promo is now bigger. Just buy or renew your motor insurance for a chance to enjoy the ultimate football experience live. Feely. Hurry now.
Enterprise Insurance, I'm on my way.
Buy or renew your motor insurance and stand a chance to enjoy an all-expense-paid ultimate football experience. Plus, you get free fuel coupons, shopping vouchers, airtime, and data bundles. Promo runs from January to May 2026. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Enterprise Insurance, trusted for 102 years since 1924. Enterprise, your advantage.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
97.3 Citi FM. We're still talking transportation. Earlier on, you heard from the Metro Mass Transit Company. We have on the line the deputy director in charge of the GAPTI, lawyer Dauda. I think that's the name, right? Dauda, acting managing director, right? Acting managing director. So, what role are they playing in helping to solve this recent mobility problem, and how well equipped are they? Lawyer, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning to our listeners and everyone.
Good. So, since you took over at GAPTI, what is the state of the organization in terms of how many buses do you have? What are the main routes you run? Just give us an overview of the organization before I come to specifics.
Yes. It is important at this stage that I introduce myself to our listeners. My name is Dawood Audu. I'm the acting MD for GAPTI. Greater Accra Passenger Transport Executive, in short GAPTI. We have oversight responsibility over the operation of the Ayelo buses, which runs in Greater Accra. It is important that we discuss this morning how our operations have been relative to what is happening in Greater Accra. We took over from the former MD of GAPTI, somehow May, June, there about them. Ayelolo as a bus operating company, which is quite different from the GAPTI itself, for some time now had issues. To the extent that we all know what happened in 2004, 2006, where most of the buses that were supposed to be used in Greater Accra, under the Ministry for Transport, they took over city buses to Ashanti region. These were buses that were meant for the operation of the operation of these buses for Greater Accra alone. Because when it comes to urban mobility, we are all aware that urban mobility is very, very important when it comes to economic development of any country, especially so when we are having issues relative to getting more buses into the system where we have passengers complaining each and every day. So when I took over, we were left with only 80 buses out of the 245 that government of Ghana procured in 2016. There about there. The 245 buses that were meant for the operation in Greater Accra alone. 60 buses were taken to Kumasi, to Ashanti region, specifically Kumasi. 10 buses were taken to Akrade. Some of the buses were also sent to Tamale. But these were done at the behest of the then Ministry of Transport. And in doing that, it affected the operation of Ayelolo as a bus company in Greater Accra. So when I took over as acting MD, the first thing I had to do, with the consultation of my sector minister, the local government minister, what I did was to write to the people who had in charge of these buses in Kumasi, for which I have been granted leave for the 60 buses, for which we are going to add it to these buses that we are having in Greater Accra. So that's the first thing. 2, remember I initially said that we had 245 buses. Some of the buses were taken elsewhere, which affected our operation in Greater Accra. There were broken vehicles as well. Some of the buses were broken down. So when I came in, and then they handed over 70 to 90 buses to us. About 60 buses were there broken. So what we did was to repair all these buses. We don't have any money from anybody. Through our own means, we're trying as much as possible to have these vehicles and the buses repaired, operational vehicles, the buses, so that they could come in to also help with the fleet that we had, which we have done. Now, towards Christmas, remember, there were issues relative to these buses in Greater Accra, especially so when there were much complaints as to whether or not there were availability of buses, whether or not there were people who were in the queue for buses. Then what Ayelolo did was to beef up the buses that we were using on our corridors. Already we have about 5 corridors in Greater Accra. We have the Amasaman, we have Vancouver, we have Adenta, we have the Kimbu area, all these areas, and then even Tama. These are our traditional corridors that we run. But because of the issues relative to congestion that we knew we were going to encounter during the Christmas period, the 90 buses that we were using for our operations for the normal corridors, we increased them to 155. So as I'm talking to you right now, Ayelolo, as a bus company operating under GAPTI, we have 155 buses put across all our corridors. And that's how come that when you go out there in the morning, you see some of these Ayelolo buses at Kimbu, Amasaman, at Chimota, and then Tema, even Tema station, you see at the Ayelolo buses. Now,
so you are running, is it 135 or 185?
135.
135.
135.
Okay, 135.
135, yes. Amasaman alone, if you look at Amasaman, the Amasaman corridor, it's a warm coming towards Achimota area, the Ablekuma, it's a very big, vast area. We are running over 45 buses from there. But there's a reason why I'm giving you a general view, so that when I'm done, I will come to why some of these buses that you see out there are challenges when it comes to transport matters in Greater Accra. Now, with the 24-hour economy policy, what we did was that in the normal shift, somewhere a normal driver who comes to work around 4 a.m. ordinarily probably will close around 3 p.m. So what we did was that if we meant to go by the 3 p.m. for which the driver will leave Gapti and then come the following day, why don't you just go by 24-hour economy staff and then we go by 3 shifts? So now, we are doing 3 shifts. We are doing morning shift. We are doing afternoon shift. We are doing evening shift. So that was experimented during the Christmas time where we were doing early morning, we were doing afternoon, we were doing evening, and then late night. At least when it comes to transport, one has to be very careful when it comes to safety. So the drivers could not be running from morning to the following day. That's how come that we did the three shifts. Just like we added small to it in terms of meeting our target during the Christmas period. So that is how the Ayelolo as a company works under GAPTI. So you have Greater Accra Passenger Transport Executive that has oversight responsibility when it comes to transport planning, network development, public transport regulation, which is unique in character from the operation of Ayelolo buses. So you realize that the Ayelolo buses as a company runs under GAPTI. Why? Because GAPTI is the agency and the local government ministry that is responsible for urban mobility. And that's the main reason why you have the Ayelolo buses working under GAPTI.
Fair enough. I wanted to clarify a few points. So your busiest route is the Amasaman to Accra route, which has about 45 buses per day, correct?
Yes, so we do Amasaman, yes, please, yes.
Do you also do the Kaswa route?
Yeah, we do Kaswa. We do Kaswa. I think I mentioned it earlier.
How many buses do you have on the Kaswa route?
Kaswa, we do not less than 25.
What about the Adenta route?
Let me help you with something there. With the Kaswa, the number of buses, we have normal marketing days. So it is not always that if you have 25 buses, so we use the average. So for instance, on Mondays and Tuesdays, ordinarily we do more buses. We do like 25, 26, at times even 30 buses. Tuesday, the same thing. But Wednesday and Thursday, it comes down a bit because at the end of the day, you realize that others are also doing their trade when it is Thursday. And
very good.
Yes.
So 25 average, but you could do more depending on days. What about Adenta? Do you do the Adenta route or the Medina route?
Yes, we do Adenta route. In fact, our office, our traditional office, in fact, is at Adenta, and Adenta has a terminal which is critical. So you have most of the buses parked at Adenta. So we do Adenta.
That's the Mayo Hot Junction.
Yes, so we do even beyond Adenta.
How many buses do you do for that corridor? So Dodowa, Adenta to Accra. It's the same general area.
I think Adenta to Kimbu to Adenta to Dodowa. These are 3 areas that we apply, depending on whether it is peak or whether we need more buses. But usually we do 2025.
2025, okay. Do you do Tema or Afienya areas? Or you don't use those areas?
We do Tema, but see, let me go back a bit to explain the Tema. Tema is a bit far. What happens there is that I need to put that one in perspective so that you could understand where I'm coming from. We do Tema, but if you look at the buses already within Greater Accra itself, Amasaman, you are talking about Achimota, Kimbu, and Adenta, there are issues. So with the Tema, because it is from Accra, Kimbu to Tema, we have 4 to 5 buses. Safe to add that when we started with the railway line, yes, so we had to use 2 of our buses, I think 2 or 3 of our buses, to the railway authority for them to also use them to augment the operation. So we have 2 or 3 of our yellow buses, which are stationed at the railway terminals. At least when the passenger arrives, quickly you can join the yellow bus straight to town.
All right. When Ayalulu was introduced, we were told that, of course, when it was BRT, it would have dedicated lanes. Number 2, people would buy tickets electronically. And number 3, it will be comfortable and some sort of premium kind of service. I'm not sure the dedicated lanes are working. I'm not sure if people actually buy tickets or just pay cash. And it appears to me that the buses are very loaded. And these days, instead of the 40 people sitting down and 9 people standing, sometimes I can see even 70 people in the Ayalulu bus. So it looks like Ayalulu has become more like a trotro with green color. That's the way it looks to me from outside. I don't know what your comment is.
Yes, thank you very much. If you look at the vision that the NDC government had in 2015-2016 when they introduced the BRT system by bringing the 245, the main objective was to ease congestion in Greater Accra, especially when it comes to people moving from one place to the other, urban mobility. So that's how come that you have terminals at Delta, we have terminal at Kimbu, I'm talking about Accra Central, we have terminal there. The essence of the BRT related to the operation of the Ayalulu buses was that we had a principle called park and ride. What that meant was that you'll have, if probably you are around Amasaman or probably you are around Adenta or around Kimbu, you will only go there with your normal vehicle, your sedan vehicle or whatever it is. Then you park and join a little bus and then you move. And then you go by the dedicated lanes. Now, were the dedicated lanes created during the 2016 period when the NDC government put in the yellow buses? Yes, they were created. Under the MPP government, those dedicated lanes were taken off, and it is critical. And I'm making a statement of fact that when you take Elzana Road, when you go there right now, you realize that the dedicated lanes are there. You see a yellow BRT or something that is there. The bus lane is there.
Okay, so now NDC is back in office for a year. Are you going to?
I'm making a point. It is important. It is important. It is important. It's something that I am working tirelessly on that with the Ministry for Transport and then Roads and Highway. It is critical. Let us put the politics aside and go through that. But I'm making a point here, which is administrative in nature. Now, as an agency, when you come and you realize that the BRT system, there's a problem when it comes to the dedicated lane. The point I'm making here is that these dedicated lanes were there, and they were in the operation of these buses. But then there was another administration that came and said, but the dedicated lanes, they are there. They are meant for human beings to fly. So why can't anybody at all also use that? And that's how come that you see some of these dedicated lanes being used by private users instead of the buses. So when I took over, what I had done was that the first thing that I did was to write to them that we would want to use the dedicated lanes in our operation, and they are working on that. So you have the Ministry of Transport, and then of course the dedicated lanes usually when they are done and they are gazetted, is the Ministry of Transport that will have
so
to
we will go back to dedicated lanes. So we'll go back to dedicated lanes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Last question I have for you. You have 135 operational. We noticed Accra has a congestion problem. These past 4 or 5 weeks have been very bad. What is the optimal number of buses that you need to run the BRT in a way that will ease congestion?
Yes, it's a very, very important question. Issues of congestion is not only about buses. It is critical. I have made this point not only now but elsewhere. But if you are talking about the road network, we are talking about the assemblies. You realize that we have the MMDAs in Greater Accra, and all of them are members of GAPTI. Now, it's not only about the buses. You could have about 1 million buses running. If you're not careful, they may even add up to the congestion. But it is the way the buses are run. It is within our expectation that if we had 400 to 500 buses across Greater Accra area, not a Greater Accra region, because the Greater Accra area, I'm talking about Kaswa in addition to the one that we have within Greater Accra. I'm adding even Tama. And that's the main one I'm using the Greater Accra area. Now we have some of these buses put across together with the fact that we have the MMDA FDC is coming into play. We have transport offices where we have the officers coming to also help. Now we have the police as well for enforcement. For instance, we just spoke about the dedicated lanes. Now, if the dedicated lanes were there and then you don't have a police officer running or manning such areas to enforce the use of the area, of course, you would have issues. So it is not only about the buses. It is a problem that must be tackled from a very holistic point.
I understand that, yes. But I still believe that you can do with more buses, correct?
Yes. You see, like I said, within the range of 400 about it. But the good news here is that these are buses that are run on normal diesel.
Yes, so, just hold on for me. I want to understand something. You are saying there are many factors that will determine your operational efficiency, not a problem.
Yes.
But you're saying if you got between 400 and 500, in addition to other factors, it will ease the congestion, correct?
No, the point I'm making here is that in general is that when we speak about issues of transportation, if there are matters of transportation in Greater Accra or anywhere in Ghana, we should not limit the discussion to only availability of buses. It goes beyond the buses. So if you have buses around and the road network is bad, for instance, if you don't have any dedicated lane and you have 40 buses moving, how are they coming back?
I understand that, but still within that,
they'll be stuck in traffic, please.
I know, and thank you for that explanation. And I'm saying that having accepted that point, there is still an optimal number of buses you would need. So, for example, I spoke to Metro Mass this morning. They have 115 buses. The government has promised to provide them some 700 more buses because clearly the 115 are not enough. So yes, roads have to be fixed, bus terminals have to be arranged. So what I'm trying to get from you is that in addition to everything else, is the 135 enough? If it is not, how many do you need?
I think I'm not at all. That one probably is around. I have done the feasibility studies. It's about 400 and 450 buses or so. But then I wanted to add by saying that apart from the 450 buses that we are thinking probably what we get them in Greater Accra for the right now of the intracity mobility system, we would shift from the normal combustion fuel buses to electric buses, and that is what I'm aiming at. Right. I have worked tirelessly to getting that one done. Currently, as I'm speaking to you, I'm in touch with the Spanish government. Very soon, we will see how we'll be able to get some of these electric buses in the country, especially for our mobility system in Greater Accra. I'm also in touch with other companies, and so which I'm almost done. So very, very soon, we should be able to see some of these EV buses in Greater Accra. The only challenge, which probably just give me one minute, it is important that I bring it on board. That if you have Citi or Citi buses, all of them moving from Accra to Tama, and then you see you have the queue probably lying in Accra. I'm talking about the Kimbu area there. And then the buses go and the buses take all of them straight to Tama. When the buses are coming, it is called when the buses are coming towards that angle, it means that they will not be picking any passenger there, but you'll be using for. So you see why I was telling you that it demands a holistic approach. Ministry for local government, we have Ministry for transport, roads, all of us, we put our heads together and then we resolve this matter.
We appreciate what you're saying. When we do know this, if you've listened to us, we discuss this all the time. But of course, you've come in to explain that it's a multifaceted problem, which is absolutely true. So thank you for talking to us. Keep us updated on the successes you chalk with regards to the dedicated lanes being given back to Ayalolo, because I think that's a very crucial point. There's also a conversation about contra flow, where contra flow means that, I'm sure you know what contra flow means. In the mornings, because a lot of people are coming towards Accra, those who are going away from Accra, there's not enough vehicles on that lane, and that we should experiment with even giving some of those lanes to the buses so that it would ease the congestion, so that Ayalolo can move faster. I don't know if it's part of your discussion, this idea of contra flow.
Those are the typical. So I have done the right. I just took over, but I have done all that. But I'm pretty sure by next month or so, I'm Sector Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Affairs. together with the transport minister, would put their heads together. And once I'm getting the green card from there, and then all these things will be done.
Thank you.
And so we are working tightly. And anytime that you need me, please, I'm available.
I'll call you. Daouda Audu is the managing director of GAPTI. Thanks for your time. 8:38 City Breakfast. We'll read a few comments. We asked listeners to tell us how they get to work. I'll end this segment later by speaking to David Fosu-Dorte, who's been doing transport policy for a long time. We'll speak to him about some of the issues we're facing with transport, and also a couple of questions around the restoration of AGOA and the China opportunities. Caleb and Kakra and Godfred, we asked listeners to tell us how they commute, whether things have gotten worse.
Yeah.
We've spoken to GAPTI, we've spoken to
Metro
Mass.
Yeah.
Please read some of the comments.
So the situation is really bad. We can't tell whether this is being created by station operators or by drivers and their mates. From Medina to so many officially cost 25 Ghana cedis, but we are forced to pay 50 Ghana cedis after spending nearly 3 hours in a queue. The passenger volumes at Medina are overwhelming, and if you don't agree to pay the double fare, you are simply sacked. This is unfair to commuters and something must be done. Dede Kosi Latte sent that from Kanda. Ashaman to Bechile and Afienya, we pay 7 cedis in the morning and 10 cedis in the evening because we are unable to get vehicles. Good morning, Bernard. Commuting is already difficult for able-bodied people. Imagine how much harder it is for those of us living with disabilities. Most vehicles are not accessible. Drivers are often reluctant to pick us, and even with the Ayalolo service, the conductors frequently load goods into the space reserved for wheelchairs. It feels like a punishment, and we are not living, we are struggling. Kofi Apia sent that. Bernard and team, this issue about transportation is not a mini crisis, it's a major one. I mostly move from Medina Rest Junction to Abelengbe, and just for this short distance, I can spend about an hour or more to get to work. There's difficulty getting vehicle. Those taking the short trips also charge higher. I would say I spend double of what I should each day on transportation, not forgetting those guys who hang around trying to get the trotro mates to pay them for people standing in their supposed bus stops. I honestly think they are partly to be blamed for all the extortions from the trotros. They are one of the nuisance on our roads. What is the police doing, by the way? You are.
Thank you, Caleb. I've received information from the Interministerial Committee on Coordination Decentralization that they are meeting the Minister for Transport, the Minister for Local Government, and the GAPTI on the issue of urban mobility, and they will keep us posted. This is following our interview yesterday with Dr. Gameli, so we understand there's a meeting to coordinate, because as I said, this has become so serious that even the communication minister also commented on it yesterday, the role of GPRT and all of this. Let's speak to David Fosu-Dorte, who's been, I think his original training is a transport something. Yeah. David is a senior partner for AB. And David, help me here. You are a logistics guy from beginning before you became a lawyer, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Wonderful.
And I know that you've been involved in transport policy formulation for many years, and this bus rapid transit thing is something that you have been involved in the past, correct?
Yeah, that's also correct.
Good. So for the past at least 6 weeks, people in Accra have been struggling to get access to buses to go home. I believe we have a mobility crisis on our hands, even though it hasn't been officially admitted by the government. Everywhere we go, people are standing on the roadside, they don't have access to cars. Trotros are just misbehaving. They will pick you from Adenta, drop you at Legon, collect the same people, take you to 37. It's just crazy. GPRT says those people are not their members. Ayalolo has 135 buses running. I'm sure they could do with more. Metro Mass was supposed to operate 350 routes. They are operating only 85. They have only 115 buses. STC don't have buses. They are waiting for buses in March. So clearly we have a challenge, and we don't even have a diverse system of transportation. How did we get here, and what did we miss? I want you to sort of put into context for me this confusion I've just described.
Okay, thank you, Bernard, and good morning to your listeners. I mean, this is a very, very, very complex problem, and the crisis is not new. We've had it for a very long time because we have tended to politicize things over the period. So I will take you all the way back to 1974, that far. that is when the problem appeared to have begun. And as a result, the government then, the military government, if you recall, attempted to solve it by introducing something called the Omnibus Licensing Authority. They have two arms. One was the Omnibus Services Authority, which is the bus services called OSA, which later became Metrobus. And then the Omnibus Licensing Decree, which was to license routes, among others. But of course, as the bus part was done, the regulatory part was never done until government changed. Then you will notice sometime in the Lehman regime, I saw you introduce Citi Express. Now I got to a point where Citi Express, instead of focusing on the intra-city services, which is what you are talking about, also branched into intercity services. It was a survival thing to enable them break even, because in intra-city, unless there is some amount of government support or some clear route licensing for you to do trip frequencies, you are unable to break even. But on the private sector side has been GPRTU, and at times we focus only on GPRTU. There were other organizations like Progressive Transport Union, ProTour, GRHA, etc. And then there were other well-organized private operators, King's Theatre and King of Kings, for those who are old enough. King's Theatre and King of Kings were owned by private people, but they were organized and they have scheduled services. Now, before I move on, when I was young in secondary school, I schooled in Western Region. I knew when to go to the roadside. 7:15, the bus will be there, and it is there at 7:15. And I pick it and I get to school. Now, when the politics started coming in, the organizations broke into two. You had the Ghana Road Transport Council, which comprised all the others except GPRTU. Somehow along the line, the government somehow managed for them to come together with GPRTU to create what has become known today as the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council. So essentially, we had a cartel on our hands. Then the problem got worse. Remember, two things are very key for any urban transport system to work very well. One is who controls terminals and transit stops. Because every vehicle, whether it is a ship, and a ship is a vehicle, or an aircraft, or a bus, or a train, needs to come to a stop for somebody to join or alight, or for you to load goods or discharge. So when it comes to terminals, the one who controls it is the one who decides who can join and who can alight, and who can load and who cannot load. That's very critical. Now, at some point, we handed over the entire control of all terminals to GPRTU, and that's why the fight with GPRTU and the others. Now, if they control terminals, then it is difficult for them to actually improve quality and run scheduled services, because it's a cartel. I actually wrote an article on this which won an award, but again, that's neither here nor there. Then we also need transit stops, that's in between main terminals, where you can stand by the roadside and pick a vehicle. At transit stops, you need to be able to predict that the vehicle will get there at this time or not at this time, and it's the type of vehicle, and I can choose to join. I listened to your previous speaker. I mean, good, very, very good points. But when he talked about park and ride, one of the things he did not mention, you can only use park and ride when you still have a car, when you first have a car to park. If you don't have the parking base where the cars can park, there is nothing like park and ride. More important, the people who use the trotro are generally not people who have cars. Because of the nature of how we have destroyed the system, most people who are using it are either those who don't have cars or whose cars are broken down or who are going short distances they don't want to drive. So we have in our system a seller's market where the buyers who are the users of the buses and the trotros and the rest actually don't have a choice. In fact, there is something more inimical. I don't know whether they have removed it now. And I think Article 1 of the GPRG Constitution, there's a provision which enables them to determine who can join a bus or a trotro on what they call the scale. The scale is simply the vehicle which is at a certain point loading. Now, if you notice, all these trotros operate on what we call a full load factor. Let me explain that. A load factor is simply the number of people in a vehicle. Now, every transport operator who understands his job will tell you that at 60% load, you break even, and above 60%, you make profit. But because we operate on full load factor, the bus or the trotros have to be full before they take off at the terminals. Now, as a result, you have a situation where you cannot predict what to stop at the next transit stop. So when Ayalolo was introduced, or GAPTI, and again he tried to explain the difference in GAPTI, we went into the next challenge. GAPTI was the regulator, and I was responsible for putting together the entire structure. At that time, we had 13 districts and metropolitan and municipal assemblies in the Greater Accra region. And GAPTI was organized and registered as a limited by guarantee entity to be organized by these 13 entities under what was designed to be called the Greater Metropolis approach. Simply put, because you have a lot of districts in Accra, but you cannot distinguish what district is next to what. So, if you take just the Liberation Road, on the right side you may have Landmark, and on the left side you may have the Ayawaso. Because you cannot distinguish these things, and because people who are move across these, you have to have them coordinated. The moment GAPTI was set up, something else happened. Subsequent governments then further divided Accra from 13 to 27. So they are thinking about 27 districts now. The new districts were not part of that agreement that signed GAPTI. So when a government decides to divide our country into districts, it is a transportation issue and a planning issue as well. So that was what caused the other chaos. The next one is the fact that these things work on certain principles. One is route licensing, which he has talked about. So since Ayalolo doesn't have all the buses, or government cannot necessarily afford to keep pumping money, the concept of GAPTI was to license the routes to persons who can afford to buy and based on certain quality. Once the license regime is there and it's a commercial issue and the route is dedicated, it makes it easy to predict. It makes it easier for somebody to park his car and join a bus because the route is dedicated, he gets there on time, etc. Without dedicated routes and without good licensing, government has to keep pumping in the money and we have all the problems. The next thing you have is that because of this, people are forced to buy cars, then the congestion increases. And we forget the relationship between amount of road space dedicated to in any city, dedicated as against the percentage of the city. So I'll give you just some basic statistics and maybe we can pick it up from there. When about 1996, 1997, when I helped build the last major transport database before I decided to change professions and move into law, the trip frequencies to from Accra to Tema, just a simple analysis, had moved over 10 years from 8. What I'm saying is that it was possible for a trot to do 8 trips between Accra and Tema in a day. It had dropped to 6. It dropped to 4. By 1996, we were already at 3. So a typical trot which is operating between Accra and Tema can only do 3 or 4 trip frequencies at most. Now, the lesser your trip frequencies, the less commercially viable it becomes. So once we have messed up the system and created a congestion, it now makes the system even less viable, which is why people are forced to do full load factor. Anybody who wants to join a bus to go anywhere can only do it when he thinks it's predictable. It is neat. It is proximate to where he or he is going when he arrives, or it is proximate to the next place where he can connect to another bus or trip, another vehicle to go. And these things are not rocket science. Lagos has it. Before GAPTI was introduced, they sent all these public servants to do a steady tour in the world. They went to Korotiba. I didn't join them for all those trips. I was in the private sector as a consultant. They went to Korotiba, then to Colombia. They came to Lagos. They did Lamata. Lamata works. You can go online now, and the Lagos Metropolitan Transport Authority, you can know which train, which is blue line or red line, and you can know which bus, which goes at what time. So predictability is what forces people to park their cars, then reduce congestion, and then be able to join a vehicle. So let me just pause here.
All right. So you've said a lot. You've given us the history of this previous attempt to solve it. You've explained the whole governance, the challenges that have led to this problem. The man I spoke to before, the current MD, said that one challenge he wants to deal with is to secure the dedicated lanes again, because according to him, the previous government sort of allowed the dedicated lanes to be used by all. When you look at the way Accra is, do we even have enough dedicated lanes for the BRT idea to ever work? And if it is, will reclaiming those dedicated lanes increase the trip frequency? Because I think that's the factor you used.
Well, the trip frequency is just one of them. I think you have to move this thing beyond just the symptoms we are looking at. Now, dedicated lanes is just one of the methods of solving a problem. How Accra itself is designed itself is also a problem, because cities actually expand in three ways. Either there's a central node point as a result of which they grow, like for example how Accra expanded from Jamestown, it's called a radial pattern, or how there is a linear, a main road connecting 2 points and everybody tries to connect the 2 points. For example, the development of Tamahabo itself, moving the harbour from Jamestown to Tamahabo, created a situation where you have a linear route and people build by the roadside and build behind the roadside and behind the roadside, etc. And you have all the congestion, so you have your left hand and right hand. And then you have the gradient pattern where you have planned. That is why places like Tema and Adabraka, because of the nature of the planning, you normally don't have congestion within these places. Now, if you take a city whose planning is as chaotic as Accra, dedicated lanes is not the only solution. So the way to solve the problem is to take pilot corridors, which is what Gravity tried to do, using the Amasaman corridor as one. The other corridor was supposed to be the Kaswa corridor. Now, the Kaswa corridor, if you notice, I think they tried to do the bridge overpass around Graphic Road, and the idea was to put dedicated buses in the middle lane all the way to Kaswa. In fact, the Kaswa problem is bigger than the Amasaman problem, too, as far as I'm concerned. And again, it occurred because the way the 1989 to 1991 Accra Master Plan predicted Accra was going to expand to the Accra North. Then unfortunately, it expanded to Kaswa, which is west of Accra. So demographics and how people build their houses and how town planners and LUSPA allows people to build anywhere without control. Development control itself is a function that affects transportation. So you can do that by picking the corridors which are most congested. At the moment, you have the Medina corridor, the Teshin corridor, you have the Kaswa corridor, and then the Amasaman corridor. And then you dedicate lanes to it. But when you dedicate lanes, I don't want to talk about politics. Previous government mentioned it. I don't get into those things. I'm a technocrat. When you do those dedicated lanes, you need to police it. If you don't police those dedicated lanes, people will drive on it. The way countries do it is that they then put a certain mark. For example, you go some countries, you see a lane at a certain color. Because you force private car users to go into the congestion, and because the buses are moving faster, they park their cars. That's when park and ride works.
Okay.
But it also works if the buses are neat and they are on schedule. Then you have a situation where when the peak is over, for example, the peak is normally over by 9:30 a.m. That is when you then open the lane for everybody to use. And in the evening, you do the contract flow you are talking about, where the reverse is the case. So these are things I believe we should just pilot corridors. And depending on the success of it, then we can expand it to other corridors, because the design is so chaotic. You can't solve the problem at the same time.
All right. I'll take note of this pilot corridor and come back to it later, not on this interview. But from my layman point of view, when I look at the various options for mobility for commuters, I notice on the small capacity end, you have Uber, Bolt, and regular taxis. Then you have our Trotros. Then you have the Metro Mass buses, and then the Ayalolo, which are supposed to be the longer buses. When I visit London, their buses are much bigger. So, for example, they have double-decker buses, and sometimes they have buses which are like two buses joined to one. So they will have more people sitting in. It seems to me as if for us, our biggest buses are the Ayalolo, and then number of seats are about 40, if I am not mistaken. Do you not think that in thinking about a transport mix, we should also think of longer, bigger buses on the right end? Because it seems as if there are too many small cars, too many taxis, too many private cars, which is also leading to congestion.
Yeah, Bernard, you are right, and you don't even need to stretch your imagination. The average bus occupies the same space that 2.5 cars occupy, and these 2.5 cars, in between each of them, they have a headroom that have to leave a distance. Now, once assuming all these 3 cars were full, they'll be taking 15 people. The average bus which is taking that same space takes about 50 people. If you include standing, you can go up to 60. That is not that's the simplistic part. look at the occupancy ratio of the cars. I talked about the buses, that of the buses. The average occupancy ratio of cars going to work in the morning in Accra is about 1.8. In other words, we are putting 6 people to occupy the same space that about 16 people can occupy, using the same road we are using. That's the simple arithmetic. So yes, you are right. But how have the road been designed? Have the road been designed to be able to take double-decker buses, as you were talking about? And can the road also take what we call articulated buses, where you have bridges which cross or overpasses, and they are not high enough to take double-decker bus? You go for articulated bus, which is essentially joining 2 average buses together. At times they look like an accordion joining the 2.
Yes.
That one bus can carry quite a lot of people. But again, the roads, the way the roads are designed, the way our terminals are located, the way anybody can start a taxi station anywhere, prevents us from doing that. You know, the regulator, and that's the Ministry of Transport, it has to work with local government and other entities which the previous speakers spoke about to ensure that this system is well regulated. I'll give you just one example. When Accra Mall was built and the taxi station there started coming up, I remember making a complaint on radio that it is the duty of the city authority to decide where a taxi station should be. But in Ghana, that's not what happens. One trotro driver or one taxi driver parks here. It belongs to GPRTU. It's a powerful union. It's a union of both owners and drivers. Then the moment you want to move them away, then they start complaining to the city authorities. And will be tied you if it's an election year. Then you cannot move them. So it prevents us from using articulated buses. It prevents us from people using quality buses. That is the situation. If we don't tackle this problem from all the angles, the symptom will be importable buses, and then we are unable to finance those buses, or we are unable to maintain them. The Ayalolo station at Adenta was closed down for about 5 years. It was not working. I don't know why something that we funded with a lot of money was closed down for a very long time. These are hard-headed problems coming from all angles. So yes, that is why I say that take one route.
Take one.
Experiment with it. Solve all the problems on that route. The replica effect and the multiplier effect will be felt in other places.
It seems to me as if we are continuing with just getting more buses, but that's a different discussion. My last question on transportation seems to me that I think the GPRTU is not helping us. And I feel like whatever solution government wants to propose, like even the ones you just proposed, if the government does not get tough with these transport unions, we will not make any progress, because as you said, they seem to have some political clout. Politicians seem to be afraid of them. So every time they want to do something meaningful for the transport sector, GPRTU doesn't agree, and we are back in this mess. A lot of the buses, the trotters, are not even fit for our roads. You get it? A trotter that, a retrofitted van from Germany with angle bars, dirty, and people are sitting inside, and somehow no government is able to regulate this better, because I don't know whether they are afraid of losing elections or whatever. Don't you think that we have to deal with the union question or the GPRTU question if we are supposed to make any progress in urban transport management?
But I will finish my article that got an award from University of Lancaster for you. It's called The Power of Unions. And I tackled this topic. And it's not only GPRTU. It's unions in general. The moment you allow unions to be able to control, then definitely what you are doing is that you are creating a cartel, and we know what cartels do. So yes, to a large extent you are right. But it is worse than that in Ghana. Remember I said we gave them the control of the terminals. There was an attempt under airline 1961 to take it back. But assemblies, I don't think, have been able to assert their rights, their strength enough. They've made it more of a revenue function. So to the extent that the owners of the terminals, and not all terminals are controlled by GPRTU, the others which are controlled by other unions, to the extent that they collect the revenue and give them what the assembly requires, they seem to sit back. But the issue is beyond revenue. So that's one of the things that we need to deal with. And we need to also understand that our productivity as a people is hampered by an ineffective transport system. If I get to work late, whether I'm driving a private car or not, just because there is congestion, it affects the extent to which I can devote and to work throughout the day. And similarly, the person joining Trotro also gets to work late. because we have not organized our system very well. So yes, the power of the unions need to be dealt with. And I'll just give you where AMA office is today, where I know you, CTFM, you've held one of those food fair and all those things there. Those who have lived in Accra long enough will tell you the struggle, and I led that anyway, the struggle we had managing to relocate. There was a station there called Nima 441. Relocating them, because they were creating a nuisance first and foremost behind the Den Hotel, and that place also belonged to AMA. Basically, the World Bank had to fund the relocation, and that's how today AMA can have their offices there. And they were relocated to a new terminal built by the World Bank, Tema Station, the one behind the office of the Registrar of Companies. We ended up creating the same chaos that we had in other places, as the one behind the office of the Registrar of Companies. So we leave these things because the people who are operating these terminals, whether GPIT, Progressive Transport, whatever it is, have power. They have more votes than you and I have. To the extent we realize that it comes back to hurt us, it is important that the operators of the system and the regulators depoliticize it, as it were, consultation with all these people, show them the advantages, let them see that it will not affect their income, and help them acquire quality vehicles, and help them buy part of the licenses in the routes, and run. It helps everybody. And it's consultations and negotiations, it will work. If you wait until an election year and you want to do this, it will become a political issue and it will not work.
Thank you. Let me turn my attention to something briefly. We heard that the U.S. Congress has extended AGOA by another 3 years. The Africa Growth and Opportunity Act will give duty-free, quota-free access to selected products from African countries, and it's been there for over 20 years. The threat was that it was going to shut. Luckily, the Congress has extended it. They are waiting for the other house to do it. My question to you is, how crucial is this for Ghanaian producers looking at our own economic situation, particularly at a time where we are told that China for the first time recorded a $1.19 trillion trade surplus, with its trading with countries in Asia, Latin America, and Africa. So the question I'm asking is, U.S. is trying to continue with this opening of its market to Africans. The Chinese have a massive trade surplus with the rest of the world. How do you analyze this, and what opportunity does this AGOA present to our producers?
Well, AGOA 25 years ago was touted as what was going to change Africa. Some of us have been around long enough to know what happened to AGOA before I come to its extension or otherwise. And I'm not against AGOA. I'm very pro any trade agreement. But over the period of AGOA, by the end of this 25th year, if my data serves me right, total Africa, US, or total imports from the US from Africa had dropped actually. We used to go, I went up to about 24 billion. My last data was about 12 billion. Now let's now deal with only AGOA related imports. Only AGOA related imports 2024 dropped to 8.8 billion from 9.3 billion the previous year. And the biggest beneficiaries were the agri sector and the fabric and the, as it were, apparel industries. So even for that, there had been some drop. Now let's look at the overall US-Africa trade. Now overall imports from Africa from US as a percentage of trade is dropped from 2.2 to 1.4 compared to the rest of the region. So if I look at AGOA over these 25 years, it seems that Africa hasn't benefited the way it was expected. And it has not also, as it were, transformed Africa the way it was expected. I do not expect any single item to, as it were, transform Africa. Now, it must be a number of things coming together. Now, you asked about China's trade surplus.
Yes, $1 trillion.
Yes, but China at the moment, I posted a tweet the other day that I smile when I hear the news, especially main news say this country is that China is its largest trading partner. The question I ask is there any country in the world whose largest trading partner is not China at the moment. America itself, its largest trading partner is China. And notwithstanding all that people talk about, America-China trade has grown from $507 billion to $538 billion during the period of all these noise that we are making. So China trade is growing across, the world. I think what is rather important we should focus on, in addition to the extension of AGOA, at first there was a debate as to whether it to be 1 year, 2 years, etc., or 3 years. And I'm hoping that the Senate will approve it and AGOA will go on, because there are people who are benefiting from AGOA, so I'm all for AGOA. But Africa needs more trade in place of aid. So we should look at all regions and not necessarily focus on AGOA only. What we are not talking about a lot is that in 2024, at the FOCAC, that's the Forum for China-Africa Cooperation, there was an announcement by the Chinese about moving Africa's relationship with some countries to the strategic level. And most African countries did. So in 2025, June, China announced a tariff-free regime for 99% of Africa goods for 53 African countries. In other words, the whole of Africa. The only country excluded is Eswatini. Of course, I think it's because they do have a diplomatic relationship with Taiwan. So that's the politics part of it. But the trade part of it is that channel is open. And for products like cocoa, coffee, value-added minerals, and all value addition, they are all the entire basket of goods that go into the AFCFTA itself are also allowed. What Africa should be doing is to be more aggressive in the negotiations to operationalize this. And in my view, to actually do it as a block. And I'm passionate about some of these things. I take the opportunity to mention
I hope this will be discussed during the Crystal Ball next week.
We have a whole session dedicated to it. Last year we did China. This year we are doing the China opportunity in terms of the trade. And we are bringing persons who have businesses in China, a China expert, somebody in Singapore, from Singapore, who deals with it. And also the leading person leading Ghana's negotiation on this. So that businesses will have the opportunity to look at how may would they be able to tap into this. We estimate that there are opportunity about $250 billion opportunity. Lastly, Bernard, remember that once I mentioned AGOA was dropping, Africa trade with China increased by 7% last year, and it hit $116 billion. It was about $80 billion just a year or two before. But it is net in favor of China. So this opening is actually the way to turn the tide, and it's an opportunity for many businesses to take advantage.
Sounds interesting. So we're watching out for the live from around Africa segment of Crystal Ball, which will be happening on the 22nd of January. David Ofosu-Dotte is the lead partner for AB and David Africa. He spoke to us initially about the transport sector, giving us some good history there. Also throwing in a couple of comments about the extension of AGOA for 3 years and the China opportunity. So if you want to be part of Crystal Ball, you may want to register by going online to crystalballafrica.com. CRYSTALBAL Africa.com. David, always good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Bernard.
Time check, 12 minutes past 9, Citi Breakfast Show. I'm going to read some comments on the transport sector. Kakra, if you can help me. So many comments coming in on how people commute and some reactions to the interviews we've done.
Jones from Nungwa says, hi Bernard, I commute to Tema daily for work. Since mid-November last year, it's always been a warfare to get a trotro both morning and evening. Some drivers still inflate the fares and the commuters are ready to pay, but the main challenge is to even get the vehicles. And also where the buses the transport minister deployed for Accra to Tema, we never saw one. From a Sherman to a Fariwa junction is 4 cedis, but these trotro drivers take 10 cedis during peak hours this is very bad. Another person says, good morning. I'm a trotro driver. We also have problems. That's Emmanuel.
Okay. What are your problems, trotro driver, Mr.
Anyway,
Driver?
Good morning, team. I live on the Kaswa Winneba Road. Previously, I paid 11 Ghana cedis to La Paz, but now I can't say same due to bad roads and wicked drivers. One has to pay almost 20 Ghana cedis just to get to La Paz every day. Here's another person. Moving to and from Amasaman to Circle by public transport has been hell. From abuse of transport fares, abrupt and unilateral increases to scarcity of vehicles leading to barbaric ways of boarding vehicles, including through windows, etc. Coupled with daily traffic on the route, makes one wonder if it's a crime to stay in Ghana. This has been the situation since most parts of last year into this year. And Kwesi Japan from Amasaman sent that. Here's another person. Good morning, Bernard and team. What has happened to the Ayalolo bus? Good morning, Bernard and team. This is Simon. He says, it's a very long one. He says, for the past 2 years, I've been working closely with the transport sector. One of the key challenges we face is the lack of reliable data to help us understand where commuters are coming from and how they move. Additionally, the traffic congestion on our roads during peak hours discourages private investors from participating in the transport sector. We already have an Ayalolo yard in Adenta. Why can't we leverage this by providing sufficient buses and encouraging commuters to park their cars at the yard and board buses from there? This approach would significantly reduce traffic congestion, allow buses to turn around more efficiently, and enable faster passenger pickup. With buses operating on strict schedules, we can improve reliability, reduce congestion, and make public transport a more attractive option for commuters and investors. I think those are
a long one.
Okay, here's another one.
Charlie, people are writing pieces. Pieces.
Yeah. Colin says, Bernard, the challenges in the urban transportation is complex. That has varieties of factors, but the fundamental factor is the limited infrastructure, i.e. roads. This affects travel time, with vehicles spending otherwise 2 or more round trips in half round trip, stuck in traffic, burning fuel for say 2 round trips. So my Uber driver decides to park during peak periods because he will waste fuel. This is what caused Ayalolo's collapse. Yes, we know with other alternatives like rail will help, but this is not happening now. So as much as possible, the government can consider the intra-city roads as part of the big push.
Very important.
Good morning, Bernard and team.
Good morning.
I'm Benjamin and I live in Abeka, but I work in Adenta. Earlier this year, I decided to buy a bicycle due to the daily frustration I experienced with trotro system. The congestion, long waits, and general chaos often leave me exhausted before I even get to work. And the situation is the same when returning home. As a result, I chose cycling as an alternative means of commuting. However, I believe the current congestion challenges require broader systemic solutions. In my humble opinion, some transport unions, particularly the GPRTU, contribute significantly to the congestion on our roads. I strongly suggest that reliable services such as smart transit be expanded to cover more routes. Additionally, introducing dedicated or contra-flow lanes for specific buses during peak hours on selected routes could greatly improve traffic flow and commuter experience. Thank you.
I wonder where he writes from. When Abekan to Adenta, does he use Achimota? Does he use the George Walker Bush? It'd be nice to know how he does the connection.
And that's a good exercise.
Bro, Charlie, my sister, Adenta to you lose. It's to be too serious, bro. Here's another one.
Here's another one. Good morning, Bernard.
Morning.
I'm Rafik from Ashie.
Okay.
The issue with the trotro is deliberate and intentional to extort money from us. On Monday, I had to pick 3 different cars from Ashie to Shiashi. Wow. I had to pick from Ashie to Medina, then Medina to Atomic, then Atomic to Shiashi. It cost me 15.50 Ghana cedis instead of 7 Ghana cedis from Ashie to Shiashi. But I think the government has failed the citizens by allowing the transport sector to be run by private operators. The government must deploy buses as a matter of emergency or urgency. The transport minister and his deputy have to be up and doing. The talking is becoming too much.
There's a lot of comments on this.
And Bernard, for me, the question is, who is dealing with the extortion that is happening? This morning as I was driving, I saw lots of commuters standing at bus stops and just one trotro is there and it's not even going the direction that they want. So who is dealing with it?
Nobody's regulating.
Anyway, good
More
morning.
comments.
Yeah, more comments. Good morning, Bernard and team. I live at Oyarifa and work at East
Lagos Avenue.
Lagos Avenue. From Oyarifa to Oponglo is 6 Ghana cedis and lasts about 45 minutes. But each morning I have to spend twice the amount and time because drivers will only pick to Medina and then charge another fare for Oponglo. Sometimes these drivers will only pick Accra straight, meaning wherever you are light, even from Medina to Oponglo, you'd have to pay the Accra fare. That's unfair.
That's what they do.
Seriously unfair. The situation is even worse in the evening. I close at 5 p.m. and by 5:20, I'm at the bus stop. Yet I get home as late as 11 p.m. If you want to get home early, you'd have to pick from Oponglo to Medina, from Medina to Adenta, and from Adenta to Oyarifa. The Ayalolo buses and the new electric buses, which take the normal fares, are not enough.
Exactly.
You miss it. You have to pay twice or thrice the fare. With the salary and landlord on my neck, I'm really experiencing my midlife crisis in my 20s.
We will continue with these topics as we get life and breath. Godfred has been, you are just frustrated.
The young man's message sums up everything. For me, all the problems that people are dealing with. And we've spoken to all kinds of people this morning. I think Mr. Fosudote sums it up best.
Beautifully.
And how to solve the problem. And I think it further strengthens our case. Look, the government needs to deal with the GPRTU. Not sit down, drink tea, shake hands, tap on their back. Deal with them. You see, if it comes down to taking back control of the terminals,
take it back.
Take control of the terminals from them.
Yes.
And tell them that you might own the cars, but the infrastructure is the government's.
Thank you.
So we are taking the terminals away from you.
Correct.
If you want to operate in the terminal, this and this and this is what happens.
Exactly.
If you don't do that, go and park your car somewhere. Without the government allowing you to operate, you cannot operate. Okay, where the thing has reached, it's no longer, we don't need mollycoddling. They say, your good friend Gameli says there's a meeting today.
There's a meeting today, yes.
Between who and who?
The local government minister, the transport minister, and the directors of GAPTI. And of course, and then the
GPRTU will be there?
I don't think so. I think this is more the government people. Because they need to...
There is, you see, here's the thing. I don't want to sound... I understand.
No, hold on.
Let me say, you don't know what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I don't want to sound pessimistic.
Okay.
But listening to the interviews you did with MMT and GAPTI, there is very little they can do now to solve the problem. They can't even make a dent. You see, the road infrastructure is a big problem.
Yeah.
David just spoke about it. All the messages that you have there will tell you the same thing because it doesn't make business sense. So, for instance, if 12 or 15 years ago, a truck could make 6 trips and now it's making 3, what are the reasons why it makes 3?
Yeah.
You understand? So the cars, when they go in one direction, they spend too much time in traffic, okay, to be able to go make a U-turn and come pick up another one. So the problems are way too big to be solved by this. We saw the temporary solution in December, which didn't work, but yeah, it kind of did something. I think we need drastic measures to solve the problem we are facing and then plan forward. So I'm asking myself these 3 questions just to wrap up for me. How many, and these are the questions off the top of my head for all the people. How many trotros or buses do you need for a city of 4 million people? And this is not just Accra, this is Kumasi as well. How many? How many trotros do we think can move? Is this sustainable?
It's not.
It is not.
So we need larger buses with more space.
I listened to Mr. Samuel, was it somebody from the GPRT? You played a voice.
Yes, it's
Mr.
called
Samuel Edu. Where's my glasses?
Yes, it's called Samuel Amwa.
Mr. Samuel Amwa, who spoke about floating vehicles being the cause. I'm sorry, Mr. Amwa, you are lying.
Hey, sure.
Oh, Bernard, he's lying.
It's not floating people.
Bernard, the scale
of this
infraction. If it is floating vehicles, it means there are more floating vehicles than GPR2 cars.
It's true.
So it's a lie.
Or they belong to other unions.
Which other union?
Proto
don't work here. I meet more Proto in Kumasi than here.
So it is their members.
So he cannot tell us that it is floating vehicles.
Who are doing this?
Because if you have floating vehicles, that can cause this kind of congestion from Medina all the way through to Kaswa. How many floating vehicles are in the system?
Then there are a lot. I get it.
Then it means GPRTU actually
they are not as
powerful as we think they are.
This is more serious than floating vehicles.
Exactly.
I get your point.
You see?
Second one.
That's my second one. And then the third one, yes, I've spoken about the road infrastructure, and then a deliberate plan to move residents of cities, minus the congestion and all. So those are perhaps the things that we need to see going forward. But the rest, we'll keep talking.
Thank you. Happy Global Customer Service Week from all of us at Omni Basic Bank. To our valued customers, thank you for choosing us. And to our beautiful, dedicated team, you make service excellence mission possible every day. For more information, call us on 030-708-6000. Omni Basic Bank, not just another bank. Freight forwarding just got easier with Hallmark Freight and Consultancy Ghana. Our attention to detail prevents customers from ever having to pay demurrage. Have your air freight delivered in less than 24 hours, sea freight in less than 48, and land in less than 4. Call 0302-915-335 or visit hallmarkfreightgh.org for more information. Get Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, or Tangy to give your senses an extra best of taste. Call 0550-032-231 for bulk purchase. Piva Beverages, a taste you love. When we come back, Caleb will be hosting my good friend Andrew Ayiku on how to identify business opportunity. This is the Effective Living series. There will be a replay of our Mahama 2.0 1-year thematic area review on television tonight at 9 p.m. It's a 3-hour program we did on Tuesday. I'll bring you a playback of that later tonight on Channel 1 Television. Watch out for that.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Where do your hopes and dreams take flight? The money you've earned, the future shining bright. At Petra, we're not just here for your retirement plan. We are here for the life you've imagined and then some. From your child's education to your dream home's door, we'll help you achieve what you're striving for. Petra is here, steady and strong. Your wealth in safe hands, where it belongs. With investments that grow at rates that compete, we build your future with every heartbeat. That's Petra, your partner. Come joy or strife, guiding you toward the dreams that define your life. For your pensions, investments, loans, and more, visit our website at petraonline.com or dial *447 *70#. Petra, achieve more.
Every woman deserves hair that looks and feels amazing. It starts with the right product. BO16. After relaxing, your hair needs serious care. BO16 Neutralizing Shampoo removes all those relaxant residues and restores your hair's natural balance. Itchy scalp, dandruff wahala, BO16 treatment shampoo will rescue you. Leaves your hair absolutely divine. BO16 detangling conditioner. No more painful tagging and breakage. See how smoothly the comb runs through. Now you know my secret.
BO16, express yourself.
This advert is FDA approved. The GC brand. It's all about you.
New year, new goals, new beginnings. Admissions are now open for our January intake at Lancaster University, Ghana. Experience world-class learning, vibrant campus life, and a global community, all in Ghana. For more information, contact us at +233 030 211 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Start your journey with Lancaster University, Ghana. Apply today and shape the future you've been dreaming of.
Make life easier with Sigma Appliances. Yeah. Your excellent go-to choice. 5 Sigma Appliances.
conditioners, fridges, freezers, TVs, and washing machines to small appliances, Sigma has them all. And now, beginning January 2026, for every Sigma appliance you purchase, you will be donating towards bettering technical vocation education training in Ghana. Visit Platinum Impex on Espintes Road behind Okadeco for wholesale or find Sigma products at your nearest home appliance shop. Call 0302-801-555 or WhatsApp 0554-666-444 or visit platinumimpacts.net. Sigma Appliances. Create possibilities.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangerine. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-322-31. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
Looking for a university that truly sets you apart? Academic Citi University Accra offers world-class undergraduate degree programs in engineering, business, informatics, and communication arts. And that's not all. Now introducing master's degrees designed to equip you with industry-relevant skills and global leadership capabilities. Study on a modern campus, learn from international faculty, and gain hands-on experience that sets you apart in today's job market. With over 15 student ventures launched and graduates thriving in top roles across Ghana and abroad, Academic Citi University is where future-ready leaders are made. Call now 0262-693-870. That's 0262-693-870. Academic Citi University, educating future-ready leaders.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
And we are always excited to have business coach and senior lecturer at UPSA, Dr. Andrew Ayiku, join us for the Effective Living series. Everywhere I go, we're discussing business opportunity identification. Effective Living series this year is brought to you by Petra Trust, Hallmark Freight and Consultancy Ghana Limited. Dr. Andrew Ayiku joins us, and we want to jump into it right away. Doc, it's good to have you.
Thank you very much,
So it's 2026, and we are saying that there are business opportunities that people could spot and take advantage of.
Exactly.
Okay, let's get into it. How do you want to approach this?
So I'm just going to look at what is business opportunity and what is not business opportunity.
Okay.
So you meet a lot of people who tell you that, listen, this is something I want to do.
Spotted a business opportunity.
Then I'll ask you, is there a market value? Okay. Is there a market demand?
Okay.
What is the trend? Okay. So when you talk about a business opportunity, we are talking about unmet needs, gaps in the market, emerging trends that can be turned into profitable ventures.
So unmet needs and gaps in the market, emerging trends.
Exactly.
Because I see a lot of new families and they are starting and they're looking for nannies. And they are like, oh, I'm looking for a nanny. So it's an unmet need.
It's an unmet need. They are looking for nannies, but they won't just walk into the market and go, hey, nanny, come, nanny, go. No.
Exactly.
They are looking for a structured business that offers nannies activities. That have trained the nannies to be able to offer them value.
So nannies will not come and give me consent.
And they'll say, or China say no.
So if I'm able to train the nannies, I can provide them
the services to the customer.
Structure something. Perfect. I have a business. Because there's an unmet need there.
Exactly.
Okay, that's an interesting one. Yeah. But it must be turned into profitable ventures.
Exactly. So, what business opportunities are not known for you? One, a business idea without a market demand. So you have a lot of people, I have a business idea. You are dreaming. There's no market demand.
Yes.
Secondly,
no, only you and your family are eating the thing.
Then you have to be very careful. Because if it's only you and your family people, they give you fans.
Yes, they can't critique you.
Yes. And then we can talk about personal hobbies that does not have any commercial value.
Okay.
So you meet a lot of people, I want to do this. I know how to play football.
No. I plant a lot of flowers around. I'm into a lot of greens and all. But a lot of my colleagues in the newsroom, they don't care about that.
Exactly.
So if I bring it here, there's no demand.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Or a copy and paste business without any differentiation. Remember, communication centers. Everybody is doing everything. Mobile man, everybody is setting up. If you don't differentiate, if you don't stand out of the market, nobody will buy it from you.
Okay.
Another thing I want us to look at is the fact that we come up with business ideas, we see business opportunities, but we don't have the skills.
Oh.
So people tell you, I want to do a salon. Do you have the skills? You understand what it goes through. Okay.
Oh, do I need a skill? Can't I just employ people who are very skillful and then I put something together?
You can employ people. There's nothing wrong, but you need to understand the skill.
Okay.
So there's this lady at Zenith Bank who said, listen, I want to start a salon. I said, take a leave and go and learn apprenticeship. Go and do it. He said, no, Andrews, I want to start. I said, start.
Yeah.
Now when the people say we need this, but we have
you
some,
don't understand.
you don't understand anything.
Right.
Now
and they can be stealing the thing to take advantage of you because you don't know the ins and outs of it.
You don't understand. Right. Now she has closed the shop. She's learning apprenticeship. She telling me there are so many things, even the way I have to dress. I say exactly.
Right.
So you need a skill.
Okay.
But the question I want to ask is, where do these business opportunities come from?
Very important. How do we find them?
We have to find them. We have to find them.
So tell us about
So in finding these opportunities, look at daily problems.
Okay.
Things are frustrating your friends. Things are frustrating your community. Things are frustrating.
Charlie, transport, no.
So much. So let me give you an example. There's this guy in my class, Elom.
Okay.
He has what we call the Melvic Technologies.
Okay.
So he realized that at Legon.
Oh right, laptops, repairs, phones, and all. That guy is amazing.
That guy is doing my MBA in Impact Entrepreneurship and at the University of Professional Studies, the best university.
Okay.
This gentleman realized that a lot of students, more than 95% of the students at Legon, do you know where they repair their laptops? Circle. Medina.
Right.
What do you do? Is this not an opportunity?
It is.
There's another gentleman, Eric, Precise Laboratory Suppliers in Takrady. He realized that most of the labs in Takrady, the reagents and all the things they have to buy, where do they go? Accra.
Okay.
For first breakfast, realize that listen, people want to eat healthy.
Yeah.
But how do they get the healthy snacks? Everybody snacks, but what do you snack on? In Katia cake or what? They say you shouldn't take sugar, so what do you snack on?
So daily problems.
There are daily problems that people need solutions, but it's not every solution. So identify the leading problems that people are having. Second, gaps in existing services.
Okay.
So currently, my tailor is giving me issues. But I don't have a choice because I'm not finding any alternatives. The moment there are gaps, there's an opportunity for you to start
the tailor
something.
is good, but I'm far away and there's delivery issues. So that gap can be sorted and it's a solution.
Or it's too expensive, poor quality, not reliable. Leather on Call. Have you heard about them?
Tell me about it.
So Leather on Call realized that, listen, men wallet, belt is an issue. I'm sure men normally we wear a belt for so long.
Years away.
Exactly. But the guy realized that, listen,
Leather
on Call, you can check on them online. He realized that they have this cork leather that is plant-based. He's also in my class, an entrepreneur. Understanding clearly that people want belts, but they want customized belts.
Okay.
So you can have your wallet, your belt with
my name on it.
Exactly.
Ooh.
There are gaps in the market. Look for that opportunity and solve that opportunity. Now, thirdly, there's changes in lifestyle and behavior. People's tastes and preferences are people want smartphones. People want online payments.
People are moving to more organic food-based things.
Exactly. So is it not an opportunity? So there's Abacus Restaurant at the University of Professional Studies.
Abacus Restaurant.
Exactly. So University of Professional Studies have about 27,000 students.
Okay.
We are growing.
You are.
There are a lot of food joints.
Right.
But she said, listen, Andrews, people don't just want to eat.
They want to eat healthy.
Exactly. Then she came up with a restaurant. Moving forward, she said, listen, there are some faculty members who come to the restaurant. But when they come, give me more salad. They say I shouldn't eat more meat. No.
Okay.
Immediately, she saw the gap.
Shifts to that.
Then she started doing meal plans for people.
Right.
So when you come, this is your meal plan. This is what you have to eat this week, and she's also growing. Now we've spoken about daily problems, gaps in existing services,
changes in lifestyle and behavior.
The fourth one that I want to discuss is regulations, policies, and trends. So what is happening?
Tell me about
what are people interested in? So you realize that now people are talking about, people are not employed. If they are not employed, what do they need? Skills. What kind of skills? People are talking about AI. Why don't you find solution to it?
So there's the gaps.
Exactly.
Okay.
You need to find solution to it, and it helps. But let's talk about 2026. Are you aware that we have 104 full weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, in 2026?
104 full weekends.
We have 52 Sundays, 52 Saturdays. Hey, so if you're already running a business, why do you want to wait for seasons, Christmas, Easter to sell? Don't you see these weekends as big events, as a year-round business for you to operate? So let's take, for instance, you are a fashion designer. There's an opportunity for you for 104 days for you to identify. What should I do? Listen, now when people are going to church on Sunday, they dress well. They dress so well. But the question is that, who is sewing for them?
Okay.
So gone are the days that people want to dress at the end of the month. Now every Sunday they want to dress. So why don't you make weekends an opportunity for you to sell?
Okay.
So you organize events. You are waiting for an event calendar. Every weekend, don't you see that there are programs going on?
A lot is happening.
Exactly.
In fact, there are photographers. Okay, no, they just pass funerals and weekends. They have the obituary list in the whole community.
Exactly.
And they're going places.
So if you are running a restaurant and you think you can just run, Papa, it's now doing event delivery. Belakwa is now advertising that every weekend, if you have an event, don't bother going to buy from the retailer. Call them, they'll come and deliver. What does that tell you?
Right.
So weekends are opportunities to make money. If you are into media content, creative industry, you take all the things. Please understand clearly that there's a huge opportunity. So for me, don't wait for big events.
Okay.
Weekends are your events.
Okay.
If you are able to make every weekend an event profitable for your business, nothing will stop you.
No, there is a thing now, it's quite big on social media. The big boys always, the weekends you hear about funeral tourism.
Exactly.
Boys are stepping out, they are going to mourn, but then while they mourn, they bamba.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's a business opportunity there.
Let me give you an example. So I used to work in a bank.
Okay.
I had friends, we're all wearing jackets. They say, Andrew, when you go to the laundry, the guys are delaying. I said, don't worry, give me your stuff. I don't own a library. That's why I started my laundry business. So there is a laundry around my area. I went there and said, if I bring a shirt, how much will you charge? They said, depends on the number of shirts you will bring. I said, okay. If I bring 20 shirts, how much are you going to buy? He said, this is the price, but I'll give you 10% off. I said, that's fine. So I went back to my friends. I said, don't worry. Fridays, give me your shirts. Mondays, I'll bring them.
Wow.
I told the laundry guy, they said, no problem. The moment you're able to bring 10.
Discount 10%.
Sunday evening, you come and pick them up.
Ooh.
That's how I set up the business. So we started gradually. And that's how we were able to grow.
Wow.
But what are the steps in business opportunity identification?
Okay, so in identifying business opportunities, there are steps to go through.
Don't rush.
Okay.
Nobody is chasing you.
Okay.
Have a lot of patience.
So before we get to the steps,
tell me.
If you're just joining us, this is business opportunity identification with Andrew Eyiko. The bigger conversation is how to live effectively. So we call it Effective Living Series for the year 2026. This is our session, and today our guest is Dr. Andrew Eyiko. He's a business coach, senior lecturer, UPSA, and of course, this is brought to you by Petra Trust. Petra Trust and Hallmark Freight and Consultancy Ghana Limited. So far, we've been talking about what business opportunities are, spotting unmet needs, gaps in the market, emerging trends that can be turned into profitable ventures. So, what are they not? We said that the business idea is one that has a market demand. It's not just a personal hobby that has no commercial value. We talked about copy and paste business with no differentiation, a whole lot of them. I hope you have your notes. So where do business opportunities come from? We've talked about daily problems, gaps in existing services, changes in lifestyle and behavior, regulations, policy, and trends. Then we've talked about taking advantage of weekends and making it big there. right? So now we are taking the baby steps. Andrew is saying don't rush in identifying your business opportunity. So what are the steps we have to take when we are identifying these business opportunities?
In identifying the business opportunities, first, your surroundings and listen to people's problem.
Okay.
You are in an office.
Okay.
Your colleagues are complaining about lunch.
Yeah.
A lady who works at one of the banks on the Lagos Avenue, said, most of my colleagues getting lunch, they can't get. I said, why don't you get a restaurant and prepare lunch for them? She started with her bank. Now most of the banks on that locality, she's the one who provides them with lunch. She doesn't move an inch, just using a WhatsApp business, and she has a cut on every one of them. Last week she called, she said, listen, they said they want fruit as well. I said, you see those ladies selling the fruits? Get them.
Yeah.
So now she has signed someone up, they do in the container,
Nicely
20 Ghana
packaged.
cedi, they give it to her at 15 Ghana cedi. She said I shouldn't say this morning, I'm so sorry, but she's able to sell. People have problems, listen to them.
So don't just listen and tweet or type or do concourse.
No.
Think about the money you can make of the problems by creating solutions.
Exactly.
Most importantly. Okay.
That's step one. Step two.
Okay.
Identify who has the problem. Please.
What does that mean?
It means that, I'm sorry to say this, I always say this in class. When you identify an opportunity, it's not like free SHS. It's not for everybody. I'm sorry. So you need to identify who has the problem. Sometimes we jump into conclusion that, Caleb needs this. You don't need it. Your ability to need something means that you should have the purchasing power to pay.
Correct.
So if you don't have, you don't need it.
So if you have a need and you can't afford it, it's a complaint.
So go and solve it yourself. So you meet a lot of people, they say, I have a lot of customers I'm going to serve. Are they available? Do they have the purchasing power?
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you open a shop, there are a lot of people around. Right. Will they be able to afford?
Okay.
So when you observe your surroundings, identify who has the problem.
Okay.
Thirdly, check how the problem is currently solved. Don't just rush.
You might have competitors, right?
Exactly. How are they solving it? That's why you identify the gaps in what they solve.
And then you differentiate.
Perfect.
Right.
So Decozone will tell you that if you want to, if you want to change the lighting and everything in your office, don't just come and buy the light.
Okay.
They will come and tell you how to position the light. When you go to Fafest Breakfast and you want to buy any of their Greek yogurts, their granola, and anything at all, they say, no. Yes, we know you are in a hurry. We want to understand what health problems you want to solve. Do you want to increase weight? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want their odugudu? They have stuff that are tailor-made.
Right.
So you need to understand the customer's problem. Right. You need to identify who has the problem. And you have to check what is the current solution.
In order to differentiate.
Yes, and the fourth one is to evaluate your skills and resources.
Why is that important?
So a lot of us see I've seen a business opportunity. Do I have the resources? I'm talking about human resources. I'm thinking about financial resources.
Okay.
If you don't have, can you start?
Right.
Exactly. I'm sure there are so many things you said on 31st December that you want to start this year. Have you checked yourself? Do you have the resources?
Right.
If you don't have those things, please just forget about it. Now, if you're able to observe the problem, identify who has the problem, how are they currently solving the problem, and you have evaluated your skill. The fifth one is create a better value proposition.
Okay.
A simpler value proposition for the customer. You don't need to invent anything new. I tell my customers, we all copy and paste.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Okay. You don't have to invent anything new.
But with the copy and pasting, there must be differentiation.
Make it add value to the copy that you are pasting.
Right. So value proposition.
Exactly.
Okay.
Add value.
Okay.
Any customer thinks about the cost benefit when they want to buy a product.
Right.
How much does it cost me to buy this? And as far as the customer is thinking about, the moment you mention the price, the customer is thinking about the cost to them. So you need to be very careful. Okay. And then the final one is test before you invest.
Test before you invest.
You need to pilot the business opportunity and be sure. So a lot of businesses that have collapsed, small businesses that have collapsed, they never tested whether the opportunity is real.
Okay.
They never tested whether the customers are there.
Okay.
And they never tested whether the customers have the purchasing power to pay.
So who do you test or run these tests by? Your friends and family?
No. Your friends will always give you fans. Your followers online.
No, they are foot soldiers. They will give you chobo. Hey, honorable. Hey.
Would they vote for you?
That's the problem.
Exactly.
They are not delegates.
Exactly.
So find the delegates.
Find them.
Okay.
That's why when you put something on your status, you put something on your social media, people are not reacting to it because they just pass by. They are passing. Yeah. So identify who your customers are. Get a focus group. Get people who will give you feedback on the products and services that you are giving to them to test. Okay? And then you'll be able to position yourself.
Right.
So it's not just about, I've seen a business opportunity. Have you realized that there are a lot of barbering shops coming up different years?
So many.
Because people taste and preferences are changing. People now barber every week.
Yeah.
Have you seen ladies salon? Ladies used to wear Ultra 33 color 1, color 2. They used to wear it for a month. Now, after a week, they want to change.
Doc, you notice.
Oh, I'm a teacher. I'm a business coach, and I have clients, and this is what they told me.
Ultra 32.
Ultra 33, color 1, color 2.
I'll go and find out.
The weeks, no, right? Exactly. So that is it.
So test before you invest.
Please, very important. Very important.
Right.
Very important.
Test
So the next thing I want
invest.
us to talk about is, for me,
Yeah.
with my experience, what are the business opportunities that you can think about?
So if I have some money, maybe over 2025, I've invested and I want to start some business.
Sure.
You want to give us tips with respect to areas that are working. Foolproof, tried and tested. From your experience as a lecturer. Great. So I'm sure you're still writing if you're doing the listening. We're coming to give you about 10 opportunities to look out for in 2026 in 3, 2, 1. Doc, action.
1, healthy local snacks. Ghanaians are always snacking. People want to be healthy and they are snacking. Look out for them.
Right.
They snack in traffic, schools, office. But people are interested in baked snacks. Sugar reduced drinks, plant-based protein snacks.
Right.
Businesses I have advised, businesses have invested in. Example is for first breakfast that I'm talking about. All the businesses I've invested in, they are doing so well.
Right.
Because there's a market for it, and people always want to eat well.
Every day we will eat too.
Exactly.
Whether we are eating well or not, we will eat anyway. But if you are doing it well too, you are going to make money.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Number 2, meal prep and food services. Please, you don't have to own the restaurant.
Okay.
Look for a restaurant.
But at least you need to know the nitty-gritties.
Exactly. Go there. Do a meal plan. So if you are running a restaurant, that watches seller, money or UPS here, come on. When the customers come, give them a meal plan.
Okay.
I'm sure when we go to the hospital, the doctor tell us, don't eat a lot of this, don't eat that, eat this. But they don't give you a meal plan. And you don't have money to go to the dietitian. So if you're running a restaurant, why don't you give your customers a meal plan? The customer comes and say, no, I'm not taking meat this week. What is the issue? He has an issue. He has been told something. So why don't you move and give them more value?
Charlie, because one of the most stressful things for me is when I go to buy food and they ask me, like, what do you want? Or when they give me menu, let me tear me. Like deciding you will take this, it's stress.
So if you're running a restaurant, or no matter what you're doing, you are not just selling, you are engaging, you are advising, and you are guiding clients. These 3 things. You are not just selling, you are engaging the clients, you are advising them, and you are guiding them. So when somebody comes to your restaurant, don't just say, this is what we have.
Meal plan.
Exactly.
You're sure the Ghanaian food outlets, they have time for you?
They don't have time, but when they start this, because I know, and I've given you examples of those who are doing this and it's working.
Great.
Another one. The third one.
Yes.
Home and office cleaning services.
Home and office cleaning services.
People are now more concerned because they take a lot of pictures. They take a lot of videos. So the place needs to be neat.
It
The
has
place
to be clean.
So people are paying.
Blings.
Blings. People are
be
paying.
banging. Okay.
Huge, weekly. Now, the fourth one is digital marketing services for SMEs.
Okay.
Most of them, they don't have the skill.
Yeah.
They don't have
the tools. They don't have the time. They don't have the
Please, if you have the time, look for them.
Okay.
You can serve them. And you can make a lot of money when you serve them.
SMEs and their digital presence needs.
Exactly.
Okay. What's next, Doc?
Skills and vocational training. Haven't you noticed? I get a lot of people, they want short courses.
Okay.
They want to know something about digitization.
Okay.
They want to know when to post, how to post, how to develop a social media calendar.
Right.
That's what they want to know.
Okay.
They don't want to wake up and say, I'm not fine. They put it on their WhatsApp status. No.
Right.
They want to know when the Ghanaian is going to watch and listen to them and read what they post. It's a skill. So if you can develop this and teach on Zoom, are you not getting clients?
You are.
And they will be willing to pay.
Fantastic.
Child care and after school programs. Child care and after school program.
Ghana is a gold mine.
It's a gold mine. There's Adwa in my class, and I'm so excited about her. She graduated. She set up one.
Right.
In a locality in the estate.
Child care, after school, and holiday programs.
And the skills that the child are learning is Caleb.
Now they're swimming, they're doing music, they're doing ballet,
now
they're
she's
singing.
even teaching them how to iron, how to fold, how to lay their beds.
Oh, the parents are so busy.
They are so busy.
So when they are paying for their children to be taught how to lay their beds.
Exactly. So when they come, she has a lot of beds. And then poultry farming. One of my guys, Prince, took advantage of the kitty thing, and he has now moved to the Volta region, and that's where he is now. And he's giving me some good. He joined us to a group.
He brings you some eggs and
everything is okay. Exactly. So that's a clear opportunity. So as I said, think about healthy local snacks, meal prep and food services, home services, digital marketing services. Think about short courses, vocational training. People, hey, I want to do a program. It's too long. Look for them. It's an opportunity. Childcare. People are complaining. People want to leave. Weekends, people want to go out and leave their children. Are you not there to set up a business to take advantage of this?
No, but if you don't have the talent for children, don't try it.
Exactly.
Because some people, you leave your children, then their children, you come back.
That is why you need the skill.
Exactly.
Okay, you need the skill. You need to learn. And all these things that I'm talking about, if you don't have the skill, you don't have the resources. Partner somebody. If you don't have the skill, go and look for a partner.
Okay.
Who has it?
Okay. Maybe you have the money.
Exactly.
The person has the skill and the time. Then you work together.
You can work together with the person.
That's amazing.
So there are a lot of opportunities. Wow. A whole lot of opportunities.
So you're saying that in 2026, there's no excuse?
No. Have you seen the opportunity? Go through the steps. After the steps, I'm telling you this works because these are people I work with, and I've given you examples. You can check on them online. They are making their businesses are growing, and they are making money, and the businesses are sustainable.
The fascinating thing is that those who are already in business are creating more businesses, and those who are not in business are not doing any at all.
Why?
Is it a skill? Is it a talent? Or is something that can be taught?
So it's something that can be taught. You can have a business coach, but people are scared. People are scared to start because their mindset is static. People's mindset. People don't have the growth mindset to see opportunities. So you have a friend. He keeps talking about something that he needs, is lacking, but he has the money to pay. Is it not an opportunity for you?
It is.
But people are scared. They are always thinking about what will other people say about them. Who told you they care?
They don't.
Just focus on yourself.
Okay.
And be able to identify the opportunities. There are a lot of them.
So I see that embedded in this conversation is also a mindset shift required to embrace the spirit of taking advantage of business opportunities.
Exactly. You need to change your mindset. Listen, we all see opportunities, but why are people seeing it as a business venture? So when you see a lion, you run. But other people, when they see lions, what do they do? When a lion sees an elephant, he goes after it.
It does.
Exactly, because he sees meat. So when you see the opportunity, why are you running?
No, you take selfie and you go home.
Exactly, which is totally wrong. So people need to think and understand clearly that the mindset needs to change, needs to shift. You need to focus on opportunities. And if you start today, focusing on opportunities, nothing will stop you. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And you have to be deliberate about what you want to do. Be very intentional about the results. We are in the 15 days in the new year. What have you achieved? What business opportunities have you seen? What have you written down? These are very important things you need to consider.
Extremely important. We're talking to Dr. Andrew Ayiku. We are discussing business opportunity identification on the Effective Living series. It's 4 minutes to the top of the hour. Effective Living series is brought to you by Petra Trust and Hallmark Freight and Consulting Ghana Limited. We've been looking at what business opportunities are, what they are not, where business opportunities come from, and I like this one because it doesn't come from space. Our daily problems, the things people complain about most on social media. So right now, the tanker, those who sell water storage tanks and those who provide water, they are cashing in, because almost everywhere in Accra they don't have water.
So where I live, I have the same issue. I don't have water. But this guy will bring the water. Yes. I'm taking my telephone number.
Okay.
And calls me. He knows when the water gets finished.
He knows.
Exactly. So
he has timed you.
Oh, he has timed me. It's a business opportunity. Yeah. So he doesn't roam. Yeah. He knows who is supplying water as at when.
End of story.
End of story.
Yeah.
It's a business opportunity, and I'm stuck with him since last year. Yeah. This year, the same thing.
Amazing.
He has a schedule for me. So anytime it rains, he's not excited about it.
So daily problems could be an opportunity for you to be making some money and change your life. Exactly. And then if you see gaps in existing services, what I have seen in what we've talked about is the new plan for the restaurants.
Exactly.
Because you see, you go elsewhere, and once you enter a restaurant, straight away they ask you, what are you looking forward to? And the waiter is explaining to you what's on their menu, if you want a chili or not. But here, they don't even have time for you.
Or go to.
You could be sitting for so long.
Exactly.
But people are fast, and they kind of like consult for you to know what you will enjoy.
So your waitress, tell them that they are not just selling. They are
providing a service. They are consulting.
They are consulting. They are educating. They are advising the customers.
Dr. Andrew Ayuku, where can we find you? Business coach, senior lecturer, UPSA.
Come to the University of Professional Studies. Story. Okay. So we are recruiting for January intake. The deadline is tomorrow. We have courses such as MBA accounting, MBA corporate governance, MBA corporate communications, MBA marketing, MBA asset and wealth management, MSc Information System, Procurement, Brands and Communications, Peace, Security, Digital Marketing.
Okay.
UPSA is an entrepreneurial university.
Right.
We challenge our students to think without any box, to grow. So the university, if you want to be, to have the growth mindset, the university, I will recommend this UPSA. I'm always there.
Excellent.
At the graduate school.
Excellent.
Come look for me.
Excellent.
I'll be excited.
Dr. Andrew Ayuku, Happy New Year. It's always great talking to you.
Thank you.
That was business coach and senior lecturer at UPSA, Dr. Andrew Ayuku, taking us through business opportunity identification on Effective Living Series. My name is Caleb Kuda. Effective Living Series brought to you by Petra Trust and Hallmark Freight and Consulting Ghana Limited. Bernardino Koku Able started the show. Francisca Kakra-Forson was here. Godfred Akoto, Boafo, Richard Delasky, and then of course myself. And Samuel Akom is here because it's top of the hour and he has the news at 10. Good morning, Samuel.
Good morning, Caleb. Coming up this morning, government reintroduces dedicated